Greetings, one and all, to this week's episode of Tenno Clock, the aftermath of the shit show. I'm joined by MDRLOz, as always.
Hello.
And we got a special guest on for the last time of 2022. We got Nazeth, who is waving. Are you actually doing that, or did you have a button?
I do have a button for that one. Although I do have also my leap motion. I just unplugged it for a second, but yeah, I can.
Yeah. Right. And this is episode 470 of 10 o'clock. This is going to be a bit of a casual one. But, yeah, some shit's gone down. But we're going to start every episode like we start every episode with emblems. That's wrong.
We start every episode like we start every episode.
Why is my one wrong?
That's last week's emblem for you.
Yeah, I know. Why is that wrong? And then I hit the beeps and the boops. Boopity beep. And
The deeps, the dops.
No. The dupes and the deeps.
Oh.
And there you go. Right. So, this makes me sad because my entire repository of emblems is just gone. And I grabbed the first one I could find. Anyway, Nazeth as the special guest. And so it doesn't depress me too hard.
Ooh.
Pick an emblem.
I do like Loz's. You gotta give props for that Slav Lotus. But yeah. I don't know. I like it. I think I actually really like yours. I like the yin yang feature on it. I like the dragons. I think it's just a really good one, honestly.
Yeah, I
agree. It may have been a last minute find, but it's a really good one.
It is a really good one. However, please don't pity give me a victory.
No.
Okay.
I think it is actually really good.
Okay, right. But if you wish to win, is that still there? I don't know if that's still there or not. If you wish to win 75 platinum, it
doesn't exist.
Oh, hold on. No, that's sorry. 7.
If you wish to win a sword,
there we go. If you wish to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice, go into the description below. Well, you'll find a link to this week's polls. God knows what's in this week's polls. In there, you'll find this week's emblems. Just pick which emblem you like the most. Just fill in the form as much as you want. Make sure you spell your in-game name correctly. Select your platform of choice, and you're up for a chance to win 75 platinum. So, yeah, it's glorious.
Unfortunately, by this point, Xeno will have lost all his platinum, giving out boosters as promised last week.
Shit, you saw that episode.
I did see that episode.
you did release it.
No. I'm still fully intending to do it. I'm waiting until Christmas Day to actually go through and do
teasing.
it. So I don't know what the votes are like that at all. So let's move on to dojo dusting. So if by some under a rock miracle you've not heard, I got hacked, and that's why I'm sort of like miserable and depressed, and Nazeth is here to bring up morale or make fun of me, one of the two.
A little both, little column A, little column. I know. I mean, it's I've been hacked. Everyone's been hacked.
Loz, have you been hacked?
No.
Nazeth, you lied to me.
He's totally been hacked. He's been hacked. He just doesn't want to admit it.
So I first off, I want to apologize to anyone else that may have fallen victim because of my account. I know that there are a few people that have fallen victim. I don't think they had it as bad as I have. But I've lost access to my Discord account and my Twitter account. I've tried to spread the word. Hats off to Loz. He managed to get the word out there pretty successfully. Some people have managed to reach out to me on the likes of Steam, saying like, "Is this you?" And like, "Nope, that's not me." So yeah. So it sucks. I'm trying to get my accounts back, but God knows if they'll actually end up doing anything. But the good news is I still have my Warframe account and thus a lot of platinum. And thus I can do the boosters still. But boost indeed. So on the side of that, for dojo dusting, there will not be an episode of 10 o'clock the first week back in January. So next week there won't be an episode. It's difficult to organize.
Put all that effort into getting things fixed. Yeah.
I'm massively behind schedule. All the stuff that Loz gave me is like, this is a list of all the stuff we're going to do to improve 10 o'clock. I haven't even begun to start it. Getting 10 o'clock up and running like this was a challenge in and of itself. I spent half the day doing that today. And
I think it's sensible to I was saying we should take a break over Christmas. That's why we were doing this shorter episode this time.
Yeah.
Now that there's actually a definite reason to, so that maybe even into January, maybe there might even be extended, might be other missed episodes, but because it's important when these things happen to take time to correct them and do what needs doing.
Yeah, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do half measures in this case. You want to make sure it's all fixed. Yeah.
So you can move forward rather than stressing out, not fixing the problem properly and just putting plasters over it until you.
Yes, yeah. I need a break as well. I need downtime. I need to catch up on my anime. Right?
Yeah.
If I don't think I would have been as vexed had there been a Gundam Witch from Mercury last week. Anyway, let me tell you I'm wrong.
Help you because it's
pick up my mood.
We're getting towards the end of the series.
Pick up my mood.
No, I think
distract me for a moment.
No, I think you're gonna make you feel bad.
It'll remind him that other people have it worse.
Remember Killer Monsamino?
Oh my god.
You haven't seen the other Zeta, but I mean...
Also, Cat. Yeah, but I have seen bloody end of Iron Blooded Orphans. That was fucking depressing enough. And then I've also seen season 2 of Gundam 00. The whole season was bad enough. Apart from the end. Anyway, what else is there?
Bye.
Bye.
Trying to think of other dojo dusting related news. This also impacts Notice Me Senpai on the main channel. If you watch that, there won't be an episode next week. I need a break. I'm on a back foot. Yeah, I can't think of anything else dojo dusting wise. Can you? Oh, we got the charity stream on the 26th.
Yay!
Yep, 26th, 28th, 20-something. And, we're going to have...
Of January.
Of January. And we're going to do 24 hours in Elden Ring. Loz will not have played any of it beforehand. I'm looking forward to it. It's my...
I never even finished my other playthrough. I'm
Neither
still,
did I.
Stuck on the Volcano Manor.
Yeah, neither did I. So, and the part of the problem was that everyone's just doing like caster builds, and I'm like, but I want to do my melee build. I'm like, but everyone's doing caster.
Caster's always OP. It's always super OP.
Yeah. So, anyway, right. I think that's it for dojo dusting. Can't think of anything else. Anyone else? No. I'm gonna start organizing guests as well, right? I'm gonna, I was hoping to get that sorted out this week as well. Kind of lost all my contacts. They used my web of influence against me, Loz.
Yes,
they used it against me. I think Loz is playing Warframe right now.
I am.
Right. Okay. So
he's doing Nightwave. He's got to get those protocol skins, man.
Actually, I'm doing Carl, but yes, protocol skins. I didn't know those protocol skins were on Nightwave, and I must do those as well.
He claims.
No, I think it's great. I actually want to log in. I want to complete Nightwave. It's like the first time in 3 Nightwaves. Bloody
huh?
Oh, this is laziness, not an actual proper Nightwave.
Oh, the Nora's Mix.
Nora's Mix. Yeah.
Right. I can't think there's anything else to talk about that. So let's move on. Do I need to hit the war report button? I don't think there's anything to report. Is that? Oh, you got stuff?
Yeah.
Also has stuff.
I do.
The war report.
War were declared between me and the hacker.
'Tis the season for savings from now until January 5th. Console Tenno can save up to 50% on Platinum packs, plus boost your arsenal and save 30% on Veilbreaker weapon supporter pack on all platforms.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yep.
for all
On
the
Steam
time
it says
saves and
Warframe is
things-
35% off.
Yikes. Yeah, well, yeah. Do check. I'll make sure there's a link in the description if you are interested in the holiday sales for things for Warframe, because there are varying start dates, end dates, things to do with platforms and whatnot. So
Sorry.
how it changes.
Just to railroad back. So I forgot the whole giveaway thing for Baruuk.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Maybe let me finish this and then.
Fine.
I was literally about to finish, but okay. It's ruined now.
Have you finished?
I can't remember what I was going to say now, so might as well.
Do you have any other news?
I have a link in the description
Oh, no,
for supporters.
Just go for it.
You not write it down?
I know, I can't remember. I was talking about the discounts and I was going to say something about it, but now I can't remember because you wanted to leap in with something you could wait 4 seconds for.
No, I was going to forget it if I did.
4 seconds. You can wait
What?
4 seconds.
What am I talking about?
Everything.
Right. So briefly back to dojo dusting. And then Loz can remember his 4 seconds. Yeah, sorry, the Baruuk giveaway. So that's not been on my Twitter. However, Loz is going to kindly host it on his Twitter, and then we can still run that. But and then I'll contact DE. I've got contacts with DE now, but I'll have to organize that and get that. So there will be a link in the description this week for a giveaway on Loz's Twitter. Isn't that right, Loz?
Yep.
Right. Do you have anything else for the war report?
Nope.
You don't remember your 4 seconds?
No.
Never to be remembered again?
Exactly, no. It's gone.
Damn.
Oh,
Right.
Tenno Bomb finished. Did you guys report on that last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I hate the
Yeah,
button.
you did. That's right. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We go into the topics then?
Well, it's not really topics.
Topic? Singular?
Yeah.
Right. So we got the topic. Singular. And this week we're just going to be talking about Warframe in 2022 and what we're hoping for 2023. Yeah?
Yep.
Right. So Nazeth, our resident Warframer,
Okay, sure.
Well, I mean, like, I think out of all three of us, you've probably played it the most this year.
Yeah.
So, how has this year felt to you? Overall.
I don't know if it's just that I've been busier with other things and so I can't justify the time, but like I just haven't felt the same push to grind through a lot of the stuff. Like I'm still missing a little bit of the last Prime release, the Revenant Prime.
Yeah.
And Baruuk Prime's already been out for like what, a week, 2 weeks, something like that.
A week.
2 weeks. No,
Yeah.
wait. Yes, sorry, Loz is right. 1 week. It'll be nearly 2 weeks when this comes out.
I haven't finished getting the stuff from the Zeraman. I haven't finished getting Varuna. You know, it's just I haven't been. I still love the game, but I just haven't felt the same
drive.
Yeah. There's just so much grind and so little time to do it in. But I'm trying to find reasons to do stuff. Like I've recently started doing. Okay, I want to go through all of the open worlds and all of the syndicates and make sure I've got everything from them, and start using their rep to grind to get passive relic packs, because you can get relic packs from everyone now. But that's kind of led me to realize that there are so many syndicates now and so many syndicate currencies to get that you could spend hours just doing that and not get anything else done. And I don't know if that's a good way for the game to be going, a good direction for the game to be going in. And we're about to get Javiri's currency system too now. You know?
And we'll have new syndicates with that and everything.
Yeah.
So
like, I don't know.
So are you not to put a negative spin on it, I kind of get the impression you're kind of a bit neutral, a bit meh about this year.
Yeah, I do like the Veilbreaker missions. They're in a better state now that they've released Echoes of Veilbreaker, whatever, you know.
Most
I
certainly
hate that.
Echoes.
I hate that naming convention.
Whimpers.
Whimpers.
Mumbles.
Yeah. But
the mumbles you can hear.
Can you? I mean, it's a mumble.
Yes.
You're mumbling.
No, yeah, but whimpers,
But
you
I
don't
mean-
even know if you heard them. Like, what was that?
But so with everyone else, that there's not enough rotation. Just having these 3 places that we do essentially the same things in over and over again. It's too empty. I loved the relationship that they built between Blue Girl and Call, but where does it go now that they've reached their culmination? What are they doing with it?
So before
Theremin was fun, and then it kind of wasn't anymore, and
So before we dissect any further, because I don't want to get me wrong, I really do want to go into all these points. Loz, do you have any general feels of the?
Well, once I've done my feels, you've done your feels. I would like to say let's go through the year patch. Well, not patch by patch or hotfix by hotfix, but the big main things of the year in order.
Yeah.
Where did we start the year and where we've ended this year?
Sure.
If I was to sum up this year as a whole, it's felt quite empty. Patches are getting further and further apart now, to the point that this year has been the furthest from Warframe that I used to remember. I don't mean to be mean, but I do wonder if I would if I discovered Warframe today, would I like it as much? And is a lot of my care for Warframe remembering those first heady 3-ish years, and that it's no longer that game, or even aiming to be that game, and it's only my memories of that keep me going. I have to think about these questions.
Jeez. So I just jumped into the actual updates themselves. So I had them up and ready to talk about. I am overall, I'm very, I want to say meh about the game. We'll get into the nitty gritty about it in a minute, but there are just so many elements to it where it feels like, okay, so we've laid the foundation, now go have fun. But this swing only has one chain. No, it's fine. We've laid down the foundation, now go have fun. But the slide just drops, the steps are missing. I can't get up the slide. It's like, no, we've laid down the foundation. Go. It feels kind of
the foundation.
Well,
a lot of very minimal viable product. But even
no,
it's not even minimal viable product.
It's not. Yeah, it's not viable. It's just minimum
viable product.
Yeah, it's not viable. It's just minimum, right? So it feels like, oh yeah, we got the slide part. Yeah, but there's no steps to get up to the slide, right? You've put the supports in for the swing, but there's no chains, right? It's basically that they have started stuff for us to go have fun on, but there's not enough of it there. Yeah? So, and that's...
You've got the pyramid, but how does it actually fit into anything with what you do there?
Yeah. Right?
Anyone's guess,
So that's the overall feel I have. And it, as Loz put it a moment ago, this feels the most removed from Warframe of yesteryear that it's ever been.
My hope, how in a lot of cases you have like a trilogy or whatever, and the second part is often the weakest, and it's kind of slow and boring, and everyone's getting into place for how it'll get better in the third book. Part of me really hopes that's just what's going on here. They're trying to wrap up one section, and they want to make a better experience going forward. But I don't know if that's going to be true. I don't.
Yeah. So
how are they going to take all this shit that's laying here in a pile and organize that into something good with what they do going forward?
So yeah, as I said, my idea is this previous existence of Warframe. Is it that we're in the transition, hopefully, from that to a new Warframe that hopefully Javiri will become the full realization of that? Then we move forward onto that, and it, then it just feels like the lull between the two.
Yeah, but that'll be a different experience than what we had.
But it could be better. It could be different. That's fine.
Yeah.
At least that will be.
If they'd kept with Railjack, that would have been a really good experience. Instead, it's just kind of like, okay. I load up my bots and they kill all the annoying ships for me.
Well,
while I do the
let's
objective.
save things like that aren't in the content that was this year for
Fair. Okay.
later, right? So, do you want anything you want to add, Xeno?
No, I think I'm happy to just start picking this apart.
Okay. So before we go, let's do a quick thing of where did we start the year? So, 2022 as a whole, we'd received the new war in December.
I mean, do you count that as 2022 or 2021?
No, that was 2021. Yeah. So we had at the start of this year, we had received the new war in December.
Yeah,
that just passed, and that was a massive. I like to say in a sentence, it'd be a cinematic tour de force that shows the space opera that Warframe always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now, and that's a positive for me. I have a lot of negatives to say about it, but at least I could say that it was big in scope and ambition. It's almost like a game in itself in length.
Yeah.
You know, I've paid for games which have less content than that patch did.
Yeah.
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 You know, it lasted. You know, that one patch lasted me longer than some games. So, and it was free. You know, it's free for any players. So that was great. But it obviously wasn't the full package they wanted it to, and so that was always lingering. Most quests, cinematic quests, normally have some content to do afterwards. All this really had was the Nama bounties on Earth and
that was it.
Venus.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Venus. Yeah.
So, and the quest wasn't even replayable. So we started this year with just on the coming off of the big patch of the new war into hopefully some additional content. You know, it teased the Zariman, it teased, you know, going forward Nama and all this, and then we started the year. So, tell us about the patches of Warframe this year. What did we get?
Gotta scroll from the bottom up. So that's December. So,
actually, before you read, sorry to interrupt you. Just that, just quickly, we won't go into big feels. But how did we feel at the start of the year? I thought the new war had some problems with it, and it was making me think. But I thought I hoped we would be getting some big patch content pretty soon afterwards, and it was going to be like, oh yeah, it's clearly like it just wasn't finished for new war. And it's going to come out and it's going to expand stuff. It's going to fix some of the problems and it'll be amazing. So I was quite positive at the start of the year. How were you guys? Quickly.
I can't really remember.
Basically the same. I was very optimistic. I mean, obviously, I'd had some time to mull over the new war and pick it apart a bit, and there were problems there. But overall, I thought that they had the foundation to really push into some really good ideas, to make some good content. I was really hopeful. I was cautiously optimistic.
Same. Okay. And you don't remember, Xeno?
I really can't remember what even though we have sort of like picked apart the new war, I still really enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's only in retrospect that I found issues. I always say when I played it, both times that I played it,
even in
two accounts, it was a great experience.
But even in retrospect, for me, I still really enjoy it. Like I would argue that it's possibly my favorite cinematic quest of the lot, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
except for Hunhow.
Yeah.
No.
But let's move on. Yeah. So, should we move on to the updates?
Yep.
So, we got a bunch of hot fixes over the course of January. I'm not going to go into those details. On February 9th, we had Echoes of War, right, which was 31.1. Now, this isn't like the halfway update. This is just some additional stuff. This was to make the new war replayable. Something about a spoiler policy, Tenogen stuff, Warframe skins, Cyan Dana's armor. I think there was also... Yeah, so there was just a few updates to this. It was nothing massively substantial. Yeah. I'm going to skip the vaulting stuff. Then in March, we had Nora's Mix Volume 1. Right? Right, so I wanna complain about this.
Go for it.
Because this was made out to be some, like, they were doing away with the intermission Nightwaves, and it was going to be something. This is my perception on it. It could be like, no, the DE never meant it this way, but it always felt to me like, yeah, we're doing away with the intermission Nightwaves, and we're going to do proper Nightwaves moving forward. And now we've got this Nora's Mix crap, and it's just like, where
we relabeled intermission.
Yes, we have now confirmed there is now no longer any plot. It's going to be, like, I might be a bit harsh in saying this, but there's never going to be any plot ever again in Nightwaves, and we just have Nora's Mix.
Yeah, so obviously it's clear that the Nightwaves they were doing before were growing in scale and growing in effort, and they couldn't couldn't maintain them. So instead of scaling them back and making smaller versions of the story, smaller editions.
Yeah, I was expecting her to just tell us a story. They didn't have to show me a diorama even, really.
Yeah, we didn't have... I know, I loved it. I loved some of my favourite stuff was the Nightwave stuff, like the whole investigating the different areas, and, you know, it's clear a lot of effort went into, you know, what's going on here.
Yeah. And the boss fights and the you know, all that stuff. Yeah, very cool. Not really necessary.
No, yeah, it was lovely, and I thought it was some of the best work they've done. But at the same time, I can understand it's not doing it, but they couldn't maintain it. But instead of doing less, they decided just we're going to do Nightwaves. Yeah, we're just going to do nothing. It's a common theme of everything they've always done in Warframe. It scope creeps up, and then they just can't do it anymore. Instead of scope creeping down, aiming for a smaller scale, they just don't. They either give up. That's what they've done. They've given up. They just went, okay, these the intermissions are now permanent. It's just you permanently intermission.
So far, the only thing they haven't seemed to have done that with is the Laverian, which just had one come out for Varuna.
I genuinely thought they killed the Laverian. I really did.
I know.
I'm so happy
they came back for Varuna, and it was like
and Styanax.
Welcome back, Druce, and Styanax. Yeah, and it's like welcome back, Druces. Oh,
yeah. No, I'm genuine. Like this is good. Right, the Laverian needs to be more of a staple. Like, it is a great. I mean, hell, at some point in time, to make it more of a thing, give it its own terminal in the Lasette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hell, I'd love it if you could go to a central location. Like, this is really dumb, right? This is dumb. This is pointless. It's fun, but what if they use the portal technology so that you walk through the corridor and then you go to a central corridor where there's all the others, so you don't have to go back and forth in your orbiter, right?
I was gonna say put it on the relays. Add it to the relays.
Yeah.
And you know how Samaris's room has the stairway around the edge where you can redo any of the tests.
Yeah.
Have it like that. You can just enter any of the Laverian entries.
Yeah, sure.
Have one that spins down instead of up.
Sure. Maybe. Do we know what Drusus is? Is he a Cephalon, or is he just?
As far as we know, he is a debtor who has lost his body.
Right. I mean, we could do it like, as Loz says, you're just spiraling down. You could put it underneath Samaris, right? Mm-hmm. So
you could have what looks like a bookcase, and like it spirals up out of the ground or something, or down from the ceiling, or
So, anywho, but yes, I was not happy with the affirmation of, hey, intermissions are now kind of permanent. Kind of.
Just for examples, by the way, of other things I'm referring to when I say that they just abandon the great concept is running well, and they just go, we can't do this anymore. We had the Sanctuary, the scanning targets for the Sanctuary, and the tactical alert system. Just completely originally tactical alert system was a way for them to tell small bits of lore, and literally we had things that were just like, there's some weird Manics or something, and it was a mission where you just fought nothing but Manics. And it was just like, that's cool. Then we had the whole Night Watch team. There was a
Night Watch, you could do Night Watch stuff. Yeah,
and they could just roll out that story, and you just did basic missions fighting just a different color Grenier. I cannot believe that was mad amount of production value, but it felt cool. It felt active, and we've just lost that. And again, it's like, right, well, Nightwaves. I thought, okay, Nightwaves are cool. They're telling the story of Warframe, expanding little bits here, side stories kind of stuff. Wolf was cool. The prelates? Is it prelates?
Yep. Zelly Prelate and the acolytes. Yeah.
And then Orokin Glassman. All great. All great stuff. And it's like, no, we could just scale back this and tell you a small scale story about, I don't know, corpus proxies becoming self-aware. Nope, we can't have any of that. if we can't scale it up,
they
and
can
make
even
it
type
bigger
that
than
into
the
a
last
proxy
one.
rebellion. I mean, because they've done proxy rebellions before.
I mean,
they completely abandoned that concept. It was just again a lazy way for them to go. Here's just a lazy alert for the weekend, but
like
they just expanded it.
I think the problem was that what was the end of the Wolf of Saturn 6 was you just fight the wolf somewhere in the star chart, right?
Yeah.
That was it. The end of the Emissary, right, was you fight the Zealot Prelates in the Derelict, right?
Which at least that one became a permanent boss fight.
True, but
which
then
kind of makes no sense, and those enemies are never used anywhere else that you can see in there, which is kind of sad. They invented this whole new strain of enemies.
No, they we discovered on a earlier thing there's when you have Plague Star on the Steel Path version, it will spawn a prelate.
Right.
No, but not just those. There are also like Thrashers, and I guess some of those are on Deimos. But there's that one that you can't. It regenerates unless you kill the husk that it turns into. There are several little enemies that they added that don't exist anywhere else.
But the other side of this is the fact that they then did Glassmaker, and I don't think many people liked that boss fight.
Yeah,
right? I loved it. It was really interesting.
It was interesting, but I could live without it. There was I had some issues. I much prefer that, and that's basically it led into the Angel stuff. Clearly, but I would have much preferred it as part of a bigger cinematic quest than stuck on a Nightwave. It didn't
and
need to be part of
it kind of feels like because they had escalated the Nightwave to be this thing that it's got to end with a boss. No, no. You've done that once, right? You know this isn't a tradition. Right? Scale it back. You know, Nightwaves.
Just tell us a story. Tell us a story. That's all.
Not just that, but like, okay, maybe they end with just a mid boss. It doesn't have to be like a big boss with a big dedicated mechanic and a big dedicated room and a new dedicated model. You know, just you know, dial it back.
I think the wolf was a repurposed Gristrag model. So I mean, that's they can even just do stuff like that.
Yeah.
What, like a different head put on?
Well, I think it's a different body as well.
Essentially, yeah. It's different skeleton, or same skeleton but different.
Different model, the same skeleton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just feels like they pushed too hard. It didn't work in their favor, and then thus they abandoned it. That's what it feels like from an outside perspective.
Well, they had to put all this effort into the new war and Duviri, and they don't have time to do these things, these other side projects. Well, but you knew you were gonna be doing those things anyway.
Yeah.
Should you not have planned a little to streamline your workflow? And I don't know.
Yeah, New War was announced prior to the release of
First Nightwave.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So. What's the dealio with that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you guys have any additional points, or should we move on to the next update?
No, we can come back to it as part of a larger thing. But
so I don't necessarily mind the Nora's mixes. My problem is that I agree with you that it did make it at least sound like they were going to be telling us a story, and all it is a dressed up intermission.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind having that. But be honest with us about it. You know, not every. This is essentially Warframe's Battle Pass, even if you don't have to pay for it. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Your Battle Pass doesn't have to tell a story. That's fine. Just be upfront. Just be like, yeah, we can't do it. We're just gonna, we're gonna give you some new cosmetics, and that's essentially it. You just got a reason to go play missions.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah. But yeah, no. Otherwise. Generally, I'm with you on this. I think the
part of the problem I have with this is because they've done this in the past, where with trials they turned around and said like, okay, we're no longer going to be doing new trials. We're gonna maintain them, and then ultimately they had to ditch them. Fair enough, no zero issue with that. But the second they said we're no longer going to be expanding upon trials, I was done. I didn't bother. I only did the the Jordis assassination. Was it the Jordis verdict? Which one was the one that was the actual trial? Verdict or assassination?
Verdict.
Right. Yeah. So I only did the verdict because I wouldn't be able to do it again ever. Right. Yeah. So and that's what it feels like. Oh yeah, we've gone into mixes now, so it just feels like, okay, so this is going to go away at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, it feels like that they just wanted to change the name. An intermission means something between.
They're doing the same thing to it that they did to the Fomorian and the Razorback. They're essentially putting it on a automated rotation, life support sort of thing. Yeah, and that's it's a symptom of a larger problem that they've had with their content. And
right.
Yep.
Unless you have anything else?
No, let's move forward.
Angels of the Zariman released the 27th of April. Right. I loved this update. I loved the fact that the hub world linked into regular mission types, where it was a modular or procedurally linked together tiles. I love the addition of the new.
We finally had a new tile set.
A new tile set. We had new mission types. We had the thing that Loz and I were banging on about for fucking ages, where you fought this mob in a pocket dimension with your operator / drifter. There was nothing not to love, even with the hatred that Void Armageddon got. I still much rather that than the conjunction survival missions that we've had. Tell me,
those are really good if you do Steel Path, though.
What, the conjunction survival?
Yeah.
Oh.
You get the maximum number of mobs coming at you, and every now and then you get acolytes and badass sentients.
For what reason?
Well, the acolytes will give you steel essence.
For what reward?
No, but that's just
for what motivation.
You went, okay. Here's a big cup. I got a big cup. Yeah, is his big cup?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I just put this in it, and then this in it, and then these in it, and I stir it all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Now best content. It's like, what? No.
Yep. You just toss it all in there together. Put it at a maximum level to use your huge arsenal of weapons on, and
no. That's not.
Stay in there for 2 hours doing nothing.
Yeah.
No, but that's the problem. That's the problem. Staying in there for 2 hours doing that. See.
Well, I don't like survival to begin with, so I'm not the one to ask about this, really.
I mean,
if you like survival, that's probably a good thing.
Let's not. We've got the rest of the
year.
We're not at that yet.
Good point.
Right. Yeah. I feel that out of the 3 new game modes, right, we've got Flood, Armageddon, and I can't remember the last one.
Cascade.
Thank you. Flood for me was the weakest. Right? It was the one. I'm pretty sure.
Flood? Is that the one where you have to collect the little orbs, or is that Cascade?
No, that's Flood. Cascade.
That's the one with the purifier things.
Purifier things.
Like the little. You have to go clear out these purifiers and prevent the
threats from taking them over again. Yes,
and you've got a map condition meter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I felt that the Flood one was the weakest of the lot. Right? I really liked the opportunity that Armageddon presented with the whole setting up turrets and things. But
it just needs some tweaking.
It needs some tweaking, but it also really needs to, the players need to be highlighted. Set up these fucking turrets. You are dying because you're not doing the mission. Right?
I like the concept in the game mode, but it would have been better if we had experience on a smaller scale of that on something on Earth to start with. with more simplified tiles, so it's easy. You understand. Okay, mobs are coming from there. I'm defending this. Or even on the Grineer Galleon, so it's just tubes. You understand, okay, and there's like 2 points in this tube, and you can put turrets on them, and you're like, oh yeah, and there's like 2 options of turret, so it's just simplified.
Yeah.
So that when you get to the Zariman version with more points, and you've got like a whole, in an arch, there's like 8 different points you can put, and 5 different turrets?
I think it's just 4.
4 different turrets. Yeah, there's just too much going. You're like, okay, well, where do I put? Okay, I've got to put turrets down. Okay, so I've got 4 turrets. Okay, which turret do I need first? And where? Okay, do I put towards the entry, or do I start? Am I covering angles, or do I cover my thing out?
If you don't kill all the enemies in one area before you move to the next area, they can follow you through the center engine room where the reliquary drive is, and they will attack it rather than going to where you are, which is so stupid.
Why is that stupid? That's objective.
They're supposed to get through your defenses at the thing that you're defending before they go to the reliquary drive. They're supposed to have to destroy that thing first, and then the reliquary drive. But if it turns off, it's so.
It's just cleanup. It's just like we've done our
but the game's
survival.
Now if you don't move on, you'll lose the other thing.
Sorry, is it? Which is the interception?
That's the next thing. And then, but I'm sorry, as a game mode, then on top of that, I was explaining those points. And then at the same time, it's not just we're doing one of these things. We're doing 3, I think.
2.
2 okay, we're doing 2 different areas as well.
Back and forth.
I like the idea of what they're trying to put in, but it was too many concepts in one go for you to pick up and learn. I know I'm not saying that. Oh well, it's not hard. We learned it. That's not the point. It's like they do. It's the same reason why the Jordis verdict raid had so many little weird things going on. It's like, you gotta learn this and this, and there's the injectors, and you gotta go out and collect things and get in the mission, bring it in the mission. It's like small, simplified, baby step things forward.
I don't think it's that. I think the problem is
you've agreed with that on my point I'm making before, because it's the same thing with like in the first trial.
I've been thinking about
with
this
the
a
doors.
lot. I think I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and I think the problem is that DE or other games companies as well don't incentivize to learn this stuff. Instead of actually reinforcing it, like we have proposed in the past by introducing simpler versions, right? I think the problem.
You mean like 2 minutes ago when I
yes, I know. I'm in agreement. I am 100% agreeing with you. I think the largest problem is that other companies, so game developers in general, right? They won't incentivize you to learn this stuff. There are so many options.
If players want to get through the tutorial as fast as they can when there is one.
Well, not
to the point of skipping things.
Not just that, right? It's the fact that, you want this special MacGuffin? This is the only place you can get the special MacGuffin. And then you watch players, and they'll get the special MacGuffin and never go there again, right? Mm-hmm. Right, we're going to put another special MacGuffin there. And we're going to learn from what you are doing as to why you don't like this thing. As opposed to, we got to take the next special MacGuffin has to be over here entirely different. We got to put it somewhere entirely different. We got to make it this. We have to give it to them. We just give it to them, right? We got to make sure that they're happy, right? So they don't double down, right? And as a result,
and then you end up with dead nodes and dead game modes and
biggest one
content and
biggest one, right? Infested salvage, right?
I love infested salvage.
So do
I don't understand why people hate it so much.
Probably because they have to do something that's not the norm, right? And that is the problem. If it is too difficult, it feels like, and apologies to anyone that I may offend, right? But it feels like the player base is happy when it's dumb and simple to work out. Something like, is it deception?
Defense.
Disruption with the suicide bomber.
Oh yes,
right.
Yeah.
It feels like, I just got to shoot that thing, right? Find things, shoot, right? Simple, easy. Everyone loves it. They spread it out there, right?
But then you got defection,
right?
And people are like, I have to escort people? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, but like AI dumb. AI get killed.
Yeah, that is a problem with it, but yeah.
But instead of actually doubling down and going, right, instead of having 4 dudes, we're gonna give you 2 dudes.
One big dude or 2 dudes.
Yeah, or 1 big dude, right? And you have to do it more frequently, right? Maybe it's a case of instead of having just 2 points that they start in, you have 4 points, so every player can go cover a point to a central point and then the exit, right? Hell, was it last week, Loz? We came up with the whole going off to do the follow-up of the defection, which is in Railjack, and we try to thing it out. Use the thing methodology. You're testing people. It's like, are you infected?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, you could do stuff like that. But like, no, they don't invest in it. They don't. There we go. It's just nope. Just
trying to move on to the next thing because that might make us more money.
Yeah,
I guess.
Just people not happy with new content, current content, get them excited for next content. Next content releases. People not happy with current content, get them excited for next content.
Yeah.
Can you name has there been a game mode apart from the originals down to back in the days of like maybe survival, interception? Yeah, interception is probably the last main game mode I can think of that was added, which is kind of like core. Any other game mode that people haven't whinged about that they've added?
I want to say Disruption. I've whinged about it because you'll never not get anyone whinging about it. But I think Disruption has been massively accepted.
Mostly positive, I agree.
You know, I'm pretty sure, Nazeth, you're fine with Disruption. I hate it. I hate it with a passion.
I love Disruption.
Yeah, I hate it with a passion. Like finding these little bullet spongy assholes.
Okay. Yeah. No,
do it on fucking.
You gotta find other ways to deal with those. You gotta find ways to slow. You bring your Zenurik and slow them down, and you know.
Right. Okay.
You bring something to strip their armor. There's ways to deal with them.
Yeah.
My point was going to be though that, to be honest, people just want to play core Warframe and they say they want more stuff, but as soon as he tries to innovate, people just whinge.
Yeah, they don't. People don't want to learn how to play this, right?
Yeah. Because but that's not my exterminate, survival, mobile defense, interception, capture. If it's not that, oh my god, I don't know how to play this. And then when they're waiting for the next patch, there's just to say they need to put more stuff in the game. They need to put more stuff in the game. Comes up with new interesting dynamic game.
I'm so tired of doing the same exterminate over and over again. Okay, well here's something entirely new. I don't
get it. I don't get it. How much this sucks. Go back to making old stuff better.
I wish I had that meme of
the dog.
The dog.
With the ball.
Want challenge. No hard, just challenge.
Only challenge, yeah.
I do think there is a comment from Zugor. It's not really just challenge as well. It's like dynamic. I get dynamic gameplay, not scary new stuff. Dynamic gameplay.
Yeah. It's oh god, it's fucking. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to play with my audio settings to make it so that I'm not peaking. And
wait, you need to put a compressor on.
Oh, why the hell is it now behaving? I haven't got a fucking clue. Yeah, it's so I fucking don't get the player base at all. Here's a new mission type. Let's just fucking.
Now, if there are genuinely problems with it, then that's fine. But like we've talked about the ones in Void Armageddon and Void Cascade. You know, those are, but they can just fix those. They can just be like, okay, we'll take care of that. But that's what you're talking about is doubling down on it. You know, they need to come back and deal with these issues.
But the problem is, because the player base will just ditch it like, you know, an unwanted bag, you know, sack of shit, then, like, you know, there's no incentive.
You also don't want to just give them everything they want either, you know? You gotta find a balance there to make it engaging without being just brain dead.
So I hate to say this, you have to bait the trap, right?
Yeah.
You have to incentivize people to do it in order to get better at it, in order to make it better as a gameplay mode. Like, fuck, when, some of the, like, oh god, what was it, Defense? when defense was out for the longest time, you only got one reward, and it was on the wave you left.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
That was in the
Wow.
game. That was in the game for the longest time. And
It was a problem because people would be like, well, I just want to see how high we can go because I just want to enjoy playing the game. It's like, oh no, but I need this reward.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
Banshee was on it.
Not
and it was
just
like,
that,
oh,
but survival, you got a reward every 5 minutes. And that was
Yeah.
the common argument. I get a reward every 5 minutes on survival. I should get a reward every 5 waves in defense.
In defense.
And
Makes sense.
And though there is some validity to it, right? That sort of argument is what drives, well, maybe I could get more for less. Right?
Yeah. If I can make a defense go faster than 5 minutes per 5 waves, then that becomes the optimal way to do it.
That's the loot cave. Yeah. Anyway.
But let's expand more talk of and just focusing on one round.
Yeah.
So
Zariman gave us a lot more content than that. It was sort of like an open world, but using procedurally generated mission systems. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a progression on the open world system rather than just being the same stuff we'd had 3 times.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it still had shops that worked on a similar system from Deimos with
Still has a rep system.
rep system, tokens and things handed in.
I want
No,
Okay.
let me finish. Let me explain the whole thing, and then you can pick
Okey-doke.
points up. 'Cause you just got mental about game modes, and there's a lot of stuff to do it. So obviously we had multiple game modes, which were cool. We also had bounties to do, so that was cool. So there was multiple ways of doing it. You could just do the game mode, you could do the bounties, which would give different rewards. There were lots of good rewards in there, some good weapons. I think was there no arcanes in Zariman?
Yes, there were several very powerful arcanes in Zariman.
Very good. And then we also got a player housing thing, which
Ugh.
I think Xeno's gonna. Yeah, I think we need to say much more than that because it really, people were moaning at it for the longest time, and I just don't get why. Because what's there to it? And then also we got the last cool thing I'm going to add. There's probably more, but I can't recall everything about it. Was the Incarnum weapons, which are really a cool concept where one weapon can turn into another weapon mid-mission, which is really. You might think like, well, why is that so important? Well, for the longest time, they said they couldn't do it in game, like with a dark split sword. But it clearly is possible because they did it. So I just want to add this in here because I'm going to make it my crusade at some point. Dark split sword fixed when?
Yeah.
Right, now, so is there any of those points that you guys want to talk about?
Yes, but I can't remember them anymore.
Good.
No, I'm joking.
Player housing, garbage.
No. It's actually the token system.
Okay.
I would argue that the tokens... Nazith, you're constantly streaming.
Oh, no, not again.
Yeah, there you go. So the token system, like, yes, it's a... It's brought over from Deimos, but it's been innovated to the point of like, yes, this is how I want this. I want to go and explore the actual tile and discover more and more about it. It felt like the Zariman had so much hidden lore behind it that it was just, oh my god, you could see these play areas that they had for like, you know, daycares and stuff like that. You had a sports track where they were exercising. You know, you could see there were so many elements, classrooms, sleeping quarters. There was so much to the Zariman. It felt like a lived-in space, right? And it was brilliant. Like, you know, so I gotta really give credit for how they implemented the token system. And I really hope if they do this sort of thing again for Deviri, if it fits, if it works, please use it again, right? I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with the token system of the Zariman. Now, Nazith and I have particularly polar opposite views with a lot of the things, as case in point our argument this morning. Do you agree, Nazith?
What argument? I don't know what you're talking about.
Damage numbers.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. So I was trying to figure out what was going on with my audio. I still don't know if I fixed it, but I don't really have a problem with token systems at all. In fact, I really like them. I prefer the fact that I can stock up on mother tokens just by doing normal bounties and drop them off whenever I want to. So I don't have to do a Zariman every day if I don't feel like it.
But do you,
I feel the same way about the pinions, and sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So out of the two systems, out of the one from the Entrati or the one for oh shite,
Is that the
the Holdfasts, which do you prefer out of the two? Finding them out in the doing bounties to get them, or just finding them out in the field?
I don't know that I actually prefer one over the other. I think they're both really good.
I like the variety of both. It's nice. I hated the Deimos one at first, but I've had to come back to it to level Deimos, and I don't hate it as much now. As one that's easy to pick up and requires less thinking, I do think the Zariman one is much more you can just do it. You don't have to think. You just go do it. You don't even need to go do the bounties. You just go into mission, go find things.
I like that the Zariman actually gives you the option, because you can do the bounties and get some in the rewards, or you can just go look through the levels, or you can do both.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I actually like them in the Zariman because I feel like I'm more engaged and I'm more turned on. So I switched on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
But
what if I just want to go out on a bounty and kill things? What if I just feel like that?
Okay, maybe I'm the odd one out, but I never want to just be that disengaged with whatever I'm playing.
Yeah. Well, no. Do you mean on the Zariman that you can just go out and pick them up?
Either way,
Zariman or Deimos. No, but I think he's trying to say that that's a plus point for the Zariman.
Yes,
that you can just go, I want to explore. Whereas on Deimos, you have to go through the rigid methods of what they want you to get the tokens for doing.
Yeah,
you have to go do pets.
I gotta do fishing. I gotta do this.
No, but you just want to get. If you just want to get standing, then all you need is some other tokens.
Yeah, but you need. So gotta do bounties.
But you have to do. Yeah. At some point, you're going to have to engage with the other tokens.
Oh yeah, if you want to level up your Infati standing and whatnot, then yes, yeah. But once you've hit max rank, it's just a matter of go get mother tokens, however you feel like doing it.
Yeah. But it's with the Zariman, it was just like just go out there and find them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's no.
The fact that all of them. Yeah, I do hate the fact that the tokens in Deimos are so spread out, and you have to have some of them for certain things. Whereas on the Zariman, I can just go farm a bunch of quills if I really want to,
exactly.
And they'll do. You know.
What was the?
Oh no! Wait, you do some specific ones to level up.
Yes, but they're still out there, and you can get them from the start.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you want to get.
I've got to buy a fishing spear. I've got to,
You want to get rep with us? Well, you need these fish guts. BT Dubs. I'm not going to tell you which fish have them. Go on the wiki. Oh, what's that? I've just run around and I found this weird little orb that generates this tiny little child, and they've actually led me to one of the better pinions. Oh, awesome! Right. I mean, that's the.
Zariman really is a better version of both, a better synthesis of both.
Yeah, that's what I feel, right? And I really want to emphasize the do this again, right?
In fact, why don't we go back and revisit some of the old worlds and fix them? No.
That's something. That's definitely. We'll keep that for the at the end things going forward.
Yeah.
3. Let's just quickly touch on it. So, Incarnate weapons. How do you both feel about those?
Meh.
I don't really. I mean, I know that some of them are really powerful, apparently, if you build them right, but I just don't really care.
Would you say so? Obviously, this is the equivalent of the Zors of this open world. Would you say Zors and kick guns made a bigger splash with you than the Incarnate weapons did?
I'd say kick guns certainly did, because you had Catch Moon, which was the de facto gun for the longest time, and now it's become the Spore Lacer, right?
Well, you also had the Zaws that had the infested Zaw parts and the infested Zaw arcanes that would let you throw projectiles and stuff. That was super big for the longest time.
So
Uncarnate weapons not as popular with Xeno and Nazith because they weren't as open. Moving forward.
That is it. That is it, Loz. That is.
I know. I wasn't negative.
I like the concept. I do like the modularity of the the idea of the modularity in the Zaws and the kit guns, even though I would implement them differently, and even though there are clearly some winners where the other ones are not as good. But yeah, I'd still just, I don't know.
I feel that
current weapons just didn't make a big splash to me.
I feel
some of the mechanics to activate them were also like, I don't want to do this. So I guess
Yeah.
I'm one of those players who sometimes likes it a little dumber.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of feel that what was the armor that sorry, just gotta let the cat out. Go on.
Yeah.
What's the shoulders, the Syandana that you got to kill X many sentients and then it will evolve.
Oh,
I know what you mean. Yeah, the sentient sort of one. Yeah,
Right.
with the new.
Yeah, I liked those, right? Because it was just a case of like, this is cool cosmetic stuff. But the problem with the Incarnans is like you got to do some weird shit like oh god, I can't remember any of them. I'm pretty sure there was one where you had to kill X many things with a single magazine. Does it kill so many sentients with a single magazine?
no, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been
been that
because
restrictive.
yeah, it would be just X enemies or X headshots.
Oh
or...
no, was it you had to headshot
the
5 angel? Yeah. Headshot shot a single.
That was one of the
X
challenges
with a single
to
magazine.
level it up, though.
Yeah, but that's my point. It just got to a point of like, but the Spore Lacer is better.
Yeah. Why would I go do this thing to unlock the next evolution when I could just use the Spore Lacer and kill things faster?
Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Lacer?
Huh?
Haven't they nerfed the Spore Lacer?
Yup.
No. That's what
the only thing they did was they nerfed Primed Firestorm, and it hasn't changed how good Spore Lacer is at all.
Interesting. So I just want to keep this on the record for anyone listening. So Xeno and Nazareth are basically implying DE shouldn't. There's no point DE releasing any weapons or any content unless it's the most OP ever. There, moving forward.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
No,
that's what you're stating. That is what you've just stated.
I do feel like they have way too many weapons in the game to begin with.
Yes, of course. Yeah. But what you're saying is that no new gun or system can come into the game unless it's the most broken thing, because there's no point existing. It's not
I want to.
No, you just stated that. Don't deny it. Don't deny it. You just stated that.
There comes a point where the effort of getting the thing outweighs
no.
the benefit of it.
There's two ways of addressing it, right? One, yes, you can make the weapon so much more OP than what's already OP is right now, right? I'm not going to deny that one. That is an option. The alternative is you fix what's OP, right? The thing that's metering to hell. Right.
Well, we won't go down this rabbit hole too much because I want to end a final word on that, because I'm going to stop you there, because basically they nerf that thing and then something else becomes OP and then they nerf that thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then it leads on to what Nazareth just said, is there's too many weapons in the game, and it goes back into our discussion too many niches in the game. Now, last point about the Zariman content before we sum up the Zariman, I want to say is the what's the play housing thing called?
Oh, the Dorm Zone.
The Dorm Zone.
The Dorm Zone, right. Let's give it a little bit of a touch. We're not just ignoring it. I didn't use it. I think it was kind of meh. It wasn't maybe for me, but I don't know why people keep asking for player housing. You've now got all the bloody player housing you want. I don't want any more player housing. Stop wasting my development time for game content on player housing. It's just waste of my time, waste of my life. I can't.
It's going to play into Deviri somehow. I know it is.
Well, it'd be amazing if it does. But to me, I don't see how this has been a good. They used to talk about things like return on investment. I cannot believe Dorm Zones have been good return on investment. And because people build things like in the dojo, massive cool Gundams and angels and Evas and things and buildings and casinos and all this amazing stuff that already existed. They've now added new player housing. I haven't seen anything making a splash about it. So yeah, what's your views on Dorm Zone? Did you use it? What do you think?
Nazareth?
I unlocked the back room where you can have the pretty dioramas, and then I never touched it again, ever.
Did you put any development time into putting pretty things in there?
Nope. I have bought some of the decorations to use elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. So those could have just been added to a different vendor.
Yep. Or have them at the same vendor, but let me just buy them to use on my ship or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Xeno.
It's so pointless.
So I'm just taking a look, and out of all the... So we asked this question back in episode 465. Less than 40% of the player base, so our community, that responded, said that they are using the player housing.
I'm gonna go log in right now and see if I've actually done anything at all with it and I've just forgotten.
Yeah. So I think it is.
You yourself?
I've never used it, not once. I've used assets from it, like I put there's a picture of you and your family. I put that in my operator room in the orbiter. That's it. That's all I've done with the whole thing. I'm sorry. I hate to say this. I don't think they should have put the time and effort into it.
Yep.
You know, it's a waste of space.
I've for these points so far, I've kind of been trying to be a bit antagonistic and push you guys on points to give an alternative view. I can't give you one on the Dorm Zone. I honestly can't. I would love to try and push it forward, and maybe there are some people who really enjoy it.
Right.
I can't believe
it was a very nice set piece for the new war. That whole scene with the operator and the drifter, very cool. But
question: did you unlock the back room?
Yes.
Did you have to do something special to unlock the back room? Or was it just rep?
It's just rep. You buy a key.
I've probably done it then. Yeah.
No, I didn't bother.
What, you didn't reach the maximum rep?
No, I reached the maximum rep. I just didn't bother. But what's the point? I'd rather spend that on useful stuff.
Oh, you had to spend points on it, did you?
Yeah. You had to spend rep on it. Like, I just couldn't be bothered.
In fact, I think I got rid of some decorations that were in here by default. So, Yeah.
I just, I'm sorry to say this. Scott, he was a bit vocal on the dev stream. He just basically exclaimed, "But you've already got the dojo. You've already got the set. What mores do you want?" We even had the bloody drifter camp at the time. What mores do you want?
Yep.
Right. And
I think didn't they do a poll? That's something actually we didn't mention. They did do a poll at the start of the year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Be interesting. Oh, damn it! Is there any points we can get from that?
I'm pretty sure the player housing was the top most requested thing aside from trials.
Right.
Yeah. But
so ridiculous.
That's an interesting point. We might have to. I think maybe first one back in January, 10 o'clock after we've had our break. We might want to actually, if they don't do another quiz survey, we might have to revisit that data. Actually, I completely forgot about that until then. So yeah, I remember player housing being a big popular one on there, and so I really want to take an alternative point and say that it had some positive views, but I just can't. Honestly, I despise it. Right. So let's
one final point. I feel like sometimes you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater when, yes, you're saying you want player housing, but realistically we know you don't. So you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
sometimes you have to make I know it's a free to play game, you got to keep your audience engaged, but sometimes you've got to tell you know better than they do.
Do you know what would have made it people actually use it? Right? There was a chance they won't even get one. Right? That's the only reason, people... Oh God, this was off the back of the whole exodus from World of Warcraft over to Final Fantasy XIV, Asmongold discovering fucking player housing existed, and... oh, fuck.
Really? You think...
Oh, 100%. Right? It's because of that, and because, content creators were streaming Final Fantasy, and then they discovered, oh, what's this player housing thing? Oh, we can't get one, right? And people going, it's like, but you already have player housing. You have 3 fucking player houses. What more do you want? Right? You have to add in a 4th one. Houses. No one fucking touched it. So
I don't mean to mean. Are you saying like it's similar to the year before? We all of a sudden over the Christmas period into January of 2020 into 2021, when sea shanties were a popular, massive thing on Twitch and TikTok, and then all of a sudden we get, oh god, what's it called?
Call it Tempestari.
Tempestari, which is weird. And now you're saying that FF14 resurgence, people looking at player housing in FF14, which is a really unique situation. Oh, now we get player housing in Warframe.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I would say that there are other MMOs that have player housing, but
No, not
you're
to this.
right that it probably
Not to the style of
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14,
Yeah.
where you had limited
Yeah.
lots of space, right? So if you weren't one of these people that actually were early enough into the game and actually got a lot, I think sometimes they do actually open up, like, or people aren't using it and things. But if you did that in Warframe, not a single person, unless they quit Warframe, would let go of those dorm zones, right?
Yeah.
They would work for them and they would maintain them and they would keep them, right? They wouldn't, they just wouldn't let them go. But the point is, everyone got one. Everyone's got one, so it's not special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying, I want to expand that because I wasn't actually following you just said it there. So what you're saying, and just saying who doesn't know for the Final Fantasy 14 system, in Final Fantasy 14, there's only so many actual plots available for people to put buildings on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we played Final Fantasy 14 as a group, and we actually had to we tried to get a player housing for a bit, but there was no available spaces, and the ones that were available were hideously expensive at the time.
Yep.
Because there's only a limited number available, and it's to encourage you that, and if you buy a land, you have to pay for the upkeep of it. And if you all log off and the upkeep's not paid, your building disappears and that plot of land gets allocated to someone else who wants to buy it.
Yep.
So it is something you have to, it becomes available. Yeah. It has to be something that has to be maintained and looked after like a real house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas Warframe is just everyone gets one. So what Xeno's saying is, if in Zariman it was an interesting mechanic where there's so many dormer zone spaces available because of the amount of the Zariman that's outside the void, which may fluctuate based on people fighting, which could have been a cool mechanic as well.
Yeah.
Let's say there's a bar, and if people filled it through fighting, some more slots became available. And then there was a bidding system for people to get dormer zones, and then you had to maintain it. And if you didn't keep your upkeep because you just didn't pay it, then some other player who was hungry for one would get it. Then I agree with you completely. People would do more with their dormer zones if there was a system like that in play. Yep. And the people who didn't really care might buy it and then they'd lose it and they wouldn't care. So then the people who would actually want the content would make more use of it, and it would feel prestigious because of that.
Yeah.
Instead of just everyone gets one and it does nothing.
Yeah.
And that is the key thing of why Final Fantasy 14's ones work, because they mean something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is it in a nutshell.
I've just stripped out all the free decorations from my dorm zone to take with me to my orbiter.
There we are.
So
let's summon up. Let's now
Yeah.
Well, let's round off this Zariman thing. How do we feel Zariman as a whole? Is there anything you want to add?
I like the mechanics. I wish the plot felt like it had more
gravitas,
investment. More of a connection. More meaning than just, oh, this lady turned into a void angel, and oh, hey, we're not going to become void angels for reasons. Yeah. But otherwise, I like the systems. It's it looks nice. I do wish the tiles were a little less sort of dark blue in lighting, because it's almost as bad for my eyes as the orange in Deimos. But that's just aesthetic.
Zariman is an excellent margarita pizza.
Yeah.
I want more. And I'm angry, I do mean angry, that they didn't build upon it.
Yes, and that was going to be what I was going to bring on. I feel I count it as an open world. I think we all probably would. And I consider it probably in a lot of ways the most realized, but still never really achieving the full goal.
Yeah.
And one thing that gets me is the lore of it. I love the concept of this was the last remaining section, and that you had to hold back the forces that were trying to consume the rest of the ship, and that never went anywhere. It was just this again, as everything in Warframe is. It's a theme park that has to be maintained in a freezer.
Yeah,
nothing ever changes. Nothing has meaning at all ever, and just until a patch might add something onto the adds. It doesn't add to the existing roller coasters, we just add another roller coaster all the time on the side. We never update the existing roller coasters. They can never change. They are just kept in their suspense. And it's just the same thing with that. It's like, here's this amazing thing. These people are fighting for their lives. They're really not.
Yep.
And that carried across to how the thing is. It's just, and it became, I mean, maybe it'll come back for Deviri and after Deviri going forward. But I mean, like, it might be like, oh, they're building these questions. Like, what is an angel? What are they doing? I don't think they ever answer those questions. They're just there. They're just cool content they did for the thing. What are the angels? What are the Thrax? What's going on? Is the Zariman? The Zariman was always this most important thing. It was like, the Zariman. Do we going to help it? Are we going to get it out of the void? No, it's just all going to be stuck there halfway in between because we need it to be stuck there because that's the next roller coaster that was put in the game. And that just feels. It feels when you went there, it's like, okay, this is going to build into something. And if now after experiencing it all, I feel that's it. It's never going to be built upon. It's never going to do anything. The stories didn't really go anywhere or anything like, oh, these are people and they're like half turning into weird things. That's it. Right.
They're like weird manifestation. They're not even really alive anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. Internalism.
Yep.
Right, and that is how that's how it was. Really, and I think it all had some great potential, some really great points, got us all excited, and then we're like, he deflates like a balloon.
Yeah, that's why.
Right.
I think I said it earlier. Zariman was really fun, and then it just kind of stopped being fun.
Okay, what's next? Let's move on.
I kind of want to glaze right past the echoes of the Zariman.
Right, but before then, I just want to point out we had TennoCon, which is technically like content.
Nope, TennoCon was later.
Oh, Echoes. Oh, was it Echoes? Oh, sorry, Echoes of the Sorry, I heard Echoes and I thought Veilbreaker.
No.
Sorry, Echoes of the Zariman.
Yep.
It added like buffs that you can click on when you walk around or something, which is nice.
Yeah. New Incarnate weapons.
That's nice.
New arcanes.
That's cool.
New amp arcane
New weapons.
adapter.
Okay.
New ephemera.
Oh yeah.
New landing craft. Yeah, it's okay.
And also, we also got the focus rework, didn't we? With that.
You got a
Or did that come
No,
next?
no. The focus rework came with
New War.
No. It came
You're right.
with Angels of Zariman.
Oh, are we doing echoes? Okay, yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
You're sitting on the spinny
my
thing.
brain spaced out for a minute.
I didn't realize you could do that. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. It's the merry-go-round.
I hope that doesn't make anyone ill.
I love
So
the
yeah,
merry-go- that's my
moving on.
favorite
I
thing.
did not know that existed. That is amazing.
So
No, but I didn't realize I focus rework on that patch. You didn't mention that at all. Is there anything
no,
you
that's
want
on
to say
the
about the focus?
echoes of the Zariman. That was on
Oh,
the
it's Echoes.
Sorry, no, it's on the Zariman itself. It's not on the
Well,
echoes.
but we didn't mention it though. Is there anything we really want to mention about it? Did it change our play styles? I mean,
No.
Yeah,
I've
I use
about it.
Madarai a little more.
No.
Yeah.
About it.
Right.
There we go. Right, moving forward.
We then had...
Oh, but can I say that? Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but my main point of reason why I don't really care is not that it was interesting changes, because somebody might look at what we just said and think like, oh, there's no point improving the focus system. They don't even care. It's more because there's not.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't. There was no way for me to use it beforehand. There's nowhere for me to use it afterwards.
Yeah.
So you've changed it and done some amazing things with it. Where and how can I use it? Is the issue
On
now.
the Angels. You can use it on the Angels.
But I could do that before. I had an amp. I just shot them with it.
But
the last gasp is actually really good.
Last
it's a
I
great
used to
way
use
to
gas,
bring
yeah.
yourself back.
I do use last gasp. That's true. But it's just like.
But that's like two things.
Yeah.
And they reworked the whole system for it.
Yep.
It's also good against Eidolons, but how often do you have to engage with Eidolons these days? You've already done that content.
So we had TennoCon.
Oh, yep.
We had Nora's Mix Volume 2. And then it's on to the next big thing, which was Update 32. All of that was part of the New War update, right? So everything up until Veilbreaker was part of Update 31.
Veilbreaker's a mainline update.
Yes, Veilbreaker's a mainline update. Right? Okay.
Lol.
And then scrolls all the way down to the bottom. September. Fuck! In September, we had Veilbreaker. Right?
Don't forget Dog Days.
Don't know what you're talking about.
That's not content for this year.
Right. So
It did happen though.
Quiet time for Nazeth.
Yeah. Should I mute him? I can mute him if you want. Veilbreaker.
Kicked from call.
How do you feel about Veilbreaker?
Skipped over TennoCon. I thought TennoCon was interesting. It's interesting to see the handover, and maybe we can talk about later how that is probably what may be affecting this year and its development things as things have moved over.
I didn't know you wanted to talk about that. So
yeah,
let's talk about it
this year.
So, I'm happy for them that they've had the handover, right? I think we've had a bit of a rough period with oh gosh, what's the name of the damn thing? The Zeraman. I think with Zeraman we've had a bit of a rough period where when the transition happened, that it kind of alluded that that all the staff on the couch were still involved with Warframe, yet from all intents and purposes it feels like no, they'd left, they were on Soulframe, and some of the people were like, well, why are we even here? I remember commenting for a while, is Scott still working for DE, because he's not coming to the dev streams anymore. And it was, I think it became evident, well, he's not on Warframe anymore, he's actually on Soulframe. So yeah, I am happy that they've had this transition because I think it's needed some fresh blood. I think the game has had some fresh blood, and there is some excellent stuff being added, things like Veilbreaker. But
in idea, in concept anyway, Veilbreaker.
But it's
practice,
it's still just a margarita pizza. That's the problem.
Yeah,
it needs more.
What's that pizza thing for? That was for something, wasn't it, originally?
What do you mean?
Our pizza talk. I remember our pizza.
It's a four. It's a
well,
four.
No,
pizza.
I would say, like, why can't we get some chicken strips? Why can't we get some
No, I remember. No, there was a maybe it was something of skill up or something in a pizza. I think. It was
really?
Analogy. I can't remember. Anyway, moving forward. Yes.
So yeah, and I think that again the transition has done some good, but at the same time, I feel that they need to keep this. Even though some of our community don't think that they should actually linger on any of this stuff, I certainly think they should linger on some of this because it doesn't feel finished. None of it does.
There we go. Yeah. So, Ananza, if you want to say anything general about TennoCon?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much in agreement. It was neat to see that DE is branching out into being a publisher and not just a developer. I guess that could be interesting, maybe. But as far as their stuff goes, yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement. I feel like, and I could be completely wrong on this. I'm just an outsider. I feel like Steve loved the idea of the game and originally, and he loves the technology of the game, but he's kind of fallen out of love with the game itself. So maybe moving on to Soulframe was a really good idea.
Yeah, I think it's...
Meanwhile, Rebecca seems to be still like super hype about the game and the story and the community. So I think hopefully,
I think the problem for Steve was it used to be this do or die situation where the company was on the verge of bankruptcy and the game turned it all around, and it was his baby that did that, right? It was his faith in the thing that actually made that turn around
his
possible. His vision made that possible. But after you work at something for long enough, if you're doing the same thing again and again and again, you get bored. You don't want to stack shelves for the entirety of your life. You don't want to administrate servers for the rest of your life. You don't want to just work on one creative project like this for the rest of your life. So
which may be part of why some of the later updates feel like they've strayed away from some of the original like creativity or creative direction of the game.
Well, I think that's also to do that the original creative direction of the game was, I'm going to keep saying this, they were channeling their mental state at the time. These poor people were in a studio which was not doing very well, going from project to project, doing these other games, which
a little guy against the universe.
Yeah, and so, I remember at the time, I think in things they used to say how they'd have to hire people on to do, like, they work on other projects. Companies would hire them to do a project. They'd have to hire people on to that project. And when that project's finished, they'd have to fire people. These people working on alongside for maybe a year at a time, and then you have to get rid of them. It's terrible. Very, very, very. Morale must have been terrible. And so then they got a successful Warframe. But at the same time, I think what Xeno's saying is true, that beforehand, if you Steve says all these stories, like when he was, they did the original Unreal Tournament. Remember, he tells a story about when some person came to work, fix something at Digital Extremes, like an engineer or something, and they were saying, "Oh, what do you guys do here? Oh, we make video games. Oh, what are you going to make? Oh, yeah, like Unreal Tournament 2004. Oh, I loved that game. Apart from the sniper rifle was awful." Then Steve was like, "Yeah, that was the lightning gun." Well, it was supposed to be the sniper rifle of the set. And then I think Steve says like, "Yeah, that was my idea."
Yeah.
Oh no.
It was him who made it that. And and it was just like, so, he has all these stories. And if you think back then, it would be like they do one project, they finish that project, here's a new project with new challenges, new different, new technology going in, oh, we've got to make a first person shooter, we've got to make a third person shooter, we've got to have this in it, we've got to have story based, we've got to make it multiplayer based.
He's stuck on Warframe for 9 years.
Yeah.
Well,
and you can see how he gets excited. He used to get he mainly gets excited when he tells you about a new lighting engine.
Showing off new technology,
new lighting engine, new graphical thing, and you can see
how amazing these eyes look.
Yeah, these. We took the even when it came years ago, when it came to something of like, we took the lip syncing system we had for Darkness 2 and we plugged it straight in a Warframe and it worked. Wow, you can see that it's the technical stuff that's always exciting. I mean, it's like Warframe has been dragging on. It's a different way of making a game.
It became an art program rather than a like crazy jerry-rigged, let's throw this together and see if it works program.
He went from being a cutting-edge scientist who's designing, who's discovering new things with each experiment, to a industry scientist who has to produce the same thing every week because somebody's relying on it to make things work.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. One is exciting, and you never know what's going to happen next. It might be amazing, might fail, you might discover the cure of cancer. And the other person is like, well, I've just got to keep doing the same rough thing I've been doing for years. Yeah. So there's that. So it's good to see the handover, right? Is there any other points we got about TennoCon? It's sad though. Obviously, Deviri was promised for this year. They have missed for that, which I take as a positive. I want it done properly once.
Yep.
Rather than
we've said this over and over. We'd rather see it delayed and done right than pushed out and done wrong. The problem will be if it is delayed and done wrong. That's going to be the kicker.
I don't. Yeah. Well, done wrong's a bit of a harsh thing, but I want them to complete their vision for.
Yes, sorry, delayed and unfinished. That's delayed and unfinished.
Yeah. I want them to go. It doesn't have to be like, oh, it's all singing, all dancing, and can cut your bread for you. What I want them to do is like, this is our complete idea of what we wanted, and it does all the things. We didn't cut back on this because we couldn't get it done in time. It's not missing these extra segments. There's not going to be an Echoes patch which expands something.
Oh, there will be.
I know there will be, but at least it'll feel like an addition and not what should have come in the first place. Hopefully, what should have just been released as part of the main update. So that's what I'm hoping. I thought maybe a little bit of that, but that's what I'm hoping. So yeah, I think it's great they've delayed it, but because they needed to. Right, so that's it on TennoCon.
Yeah.
Right, let us move on then to Veilbreaker.
Yep.
Let's go.
So 7th of September, we had Veilbreaker. Who wants to kick this one off?
Well, it's good to know that Viso is definitely dead, 100%. Poor guy. Poor guy. I held out hope that Viso would come back. That's not going to happen.
That's what you think.
No, but in all seriousness, I do like that they revisited that gameplay from the New War. It actually turned into something and not just a one-off that we never saw again. I said it earlier when we got went on the general impressions. I hate the fact that it's just the three zones. It's essentially just the three same missions in those zones every time. But the idea is good. I loved the the growing relationship between Blue Girl and Cull as as you did the missions until it hit the end.
Well, at the same time, that one section of the game and the relationship between these two characters is doing a lot of heavy lifting for the plot. And you might not seem it, but it really is.
Oh yeah.
Like, what were we doing on Deimos while the new war happened?
Yeah.
We were hiding.
And Daddy wouldn't let me
somehow they were hiding. I don't know how.
Yeah.
That's never explained, obviously, but
those few lines are doing so much heavy lifting as part of New War, and that's only part of what New War needs to keep it going. It really needs a lot of lifting.
Nazeth, don't worry, they hid the Deimos in the void.
So I do. Do you guys remember when they first added Deimos and you got an inbox message and it was like, "Oh, we're receiving a signal. Oh my God, Deimos is there. Deimos is back."
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was never actually explained in any way in game. New players will not have seen that because Deimos will just be there. So
no, I'm pretty sure in that message it talks about they pushed Deimos back into orbit around Mars.
What year was it?
Well, that it came out.
Oh God!
Yeah.
What, last year? Was it last year? Year before?
No.
Was it 20 or 2021?
It must have been 2020.
Sure. I think it's 2020.
Lloyd.
Nazeth, your thing doing again.
So the first thing we got on 26th of August 20 was a message from Lloyd. It says, "You are called, loyal servants of the great glorious Orokin Empire. You are hereby commanded to honor your oath and render assistance without delay. We await your arrival upon this, the most cursed moon of Deimos. Your star chart shows the way. I, Lloyd, Cephalon, servant to House Entrati. Please bring guns. These items will be delivered to your inventory. Heart of Deimos."
Maybe it was at the beginning of Heart of Deimos, but I remember them. Fuck, if it was just in TennoCon that they said, "Yeah, we pushed it back into orbit," I'd be like, "Yeah, then that's awful." But I swear there is a line in somewhere that says it.
Can't see it. And you don't delete. Well, you can delete messages, but I've never deleted messages.
Yeah.
So I don't see it here. Maybe it's in the quest at the start.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it could easily just be like they said it in the reveal. But regardless.
Yep.
What were we talking about?
Oops. If that's true, maybe there's a way for them to do something with Deimos to hide it. I don't know.
I was joking because the line was that the original line was that, "Don't worry, the orbiter's hidden in the void," right?
Yeah. And we hid the moon in the void, and
Yeah.
So along with the Veilbreaker Carl missions, we also received the second sortie added to the game, which is the
Archon
sortie, which is a weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we also got
by the way, get ready for that kind of weekly content because that's what we're going to get with Duviri too.
Is that fact or is that assumption?
I'm pretty sure they said that that the bounties are going to be like weekly.
Okay,
that's fine. Bounties being weekly.
Oh no, I thought it was like there was like phased content and things like that. Like you got different effects and events. And what's wrong with your neck?
Oh, I was leaning back to pet my cat.
Right,
and I guess it did. Oh yeah, it does do that, doesn't it?
Anyway, so yeah, I think they were talking about like rotating stuff on a weekly basis. So, but I mean, is there anything particularly wrong with that? It keeps people coming back.
Does it, or does it just feel like more horrible time gating that makes players want to quit?
It's
more artificial time gating.
It's a balance. It's got to be a balance between all of it, and it's part. If it is just part of the bigger whole, and that the rest of the stuff is there to entertain you, and you've also got your weekly, that's fine. And I know I'm going to draw from World War, for example, for you, Nazeth, that you're sitting there, you've done absolutely pretty much everything, and you are literally waiting for next week for the next tiny snippet of quest, which is just all released in one go, a la Shadowlands. Oh, I hate that so much. Then no, you're literally like, right, I have no reason to log in until next week to do the tiny little 5-minute quest that adds one little chunk of lore, and I'm gonna have to do this 5 weeks in a row before this gets anywhere meaningful. So it depends. You have to look at the bigger whole. So it's hard. Just them saying that, we can't condemn them on just that alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, there is more to do. You can still do like the conjunction survivals unrestricted. You can still farm for Varuna unrestricted, right? There's no form of restriction on that whatsoever. However, the Archon stuff is meant to be a slow moving content. If you could get all 5 Archon shards that you wanted
in a week,
in an evening, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, let's face it, because you can do a Sister of Parvos or something in an evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, what's the fucking point? So they gate the content only to make sure that there's something to keep coming back for, because otherwise you're not going to come back for the next several months, and at that point in time you're going to be like, well, why am I even going to bother coming back at all, right? You know, there are people that I know that have quit Warframe and have had no reason to come back, and now they're like, I can't be fucked to come back, right? I'm interested in things like the new war, but, you know, I'm so far behind, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, which is that's another issue, is that you need to go back and address old content, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So there is a plus point to time gating it to a week based thing.
On the minus point, then you've got these players that do come back and they're like, well, I'm so far behind and now I have to deal with this time gating that I'm never going to catch up with.
But the stuff that's on the time gating is for veterans, players that have done fucking everything, right? Why do you need Archon shards? This is the argument that Loz and I have had against
many weeks.
You know, against the Warframe community. Why do you need a fucking Tau 4 shard? What are you going to use it against?
Yeah, I haven't even really bothered that hard, because what do I need it for?
Yeah, what content requires you to have a team of people, or with 5 Tau 4 shards, you know, one in each slot?
Yeah, I guess it would make Steel Path slightly easier.
To what avail?
Staying longer, but why would I want to?
Why are you doing Steel Path when all the rewards are on fucking regular path? Right. Oh, but you can get.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. You can't get Umbral Forma on regular path. You can't get Ribbon Ciphers on regular path.
How many? Yes, you can. We got them earlier.
No. Ribbon Ciphers, not Ribbon Slivers.
Sorry. Okay, and you know how's the Ribbon market going? You know, it's neither here nor there. If there's nothing to do with the content, people aren't gonna give a fuck. You're just gonna have the
people are weirdly giving a fuck even when there isn't content to do.
Are they?
Yeah, because they want their Tau 4 shards.
I think the whiny veterans are wanting the Tau 4 shards. I think don't be so mean as to or blasé about it to segregate old groups of people. I'm sure there are
anyone who sees a YouTube video on it, whether they're a veteran or a newbie. In fact, the newbies are even going to be like, "I want that now."
Yeah, don't just say like, "Oh, it's only the veterans and it's all the veterans." Don't.
No, you have
a large brush you have established there.
You do have a very valid point. I would be interested to know, like, you know, I wish I could just, hey, Warframe community, what MR are you and how many Archon shards do you have? Because I don't know what MR level you'd have to be at a minimum in order to get access, because you can't do it until you've completed the new war.
I believe you can do everything on the star chart by the time you're MR8. I don't know how New War fits into that. But I know you can at least do everything up to the sacrifice by MR8.
That's fucking...
Well, I've only just realised that I did all the Daemon Rep and I just needed to get one like Everglass shard or something from grandmother to level up.
Sarah Glass, yeah.
And then I could buy the Helmint segment that I was missing, and now I can just buy it from the market for platinum, which I did, and you can plug it in as long as you mash rank 8.
Wait, you can buy the Everglass shard.
No,
there's-
you can
there's
buy
helmet
the
segment.
invigoration segment.
From the market?
Yep. There's a bundle. Helmet attachment bundles.
Then we can get
fuck.
the Kavat one.
Oh, fuck. I didn't realise that. Fuck.
I don't know when that came into the game, but I was like, oh, I've been putting effort in for that. Oh, well.
Nah.
Well, that effort's now gone.
Yep.
Well, now you can use those grandmother tokens to buy a capture a scene, Loz.
No.
You want
No.
a capture a scene, don't you?
No. 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 No.
That's kind of what I mean. They've turned this into the cosmetics, the game, and they it's like they expect stuff like the capture scenes or a new scarf or whatever to be enough.
Well, it is an interesting thing to do. I mean, I'll get us back in focus in a sec. But cosmetics have done well in this game and have been a thing unto itself. And instead of acknowledging that and just keeping it on the side, they almost see a lot of the development time seems to play into that and be like, oh yeah, but the cosmetics alone will carry us forward, and that's what people want. It's like, no, that's always been a jokey side game. It's that the joke was always, what's the end game of Warframe was Fashion Frame. It's only because there was no actual end game to point to. And yes, I know that people spend a lot of time developing awesome structures in their dojos, but again, it's probably partly because there's no end game for them.
There's nothing else for them to do. Yeah.
Yes, people do whole YouTube channels, and there's a whole Reddit based on the amazing Fashion Frame examples people can come up with. But that probably a lot of that time would not be spent on Fashion Frame.
It's nice that they facilitate people doing that, but it shouldn't be the focus.
Also, now that you've become a nail destroying microphone thing again.
What? Why?
All right.
Okay.
Right.
So back.
We've talked about shards. We've talked about Arc. Is there anything we want to say about the Archon fights? As a fight, do we?
Fuck the owl one.
The what?
The owl one.
Fuck the owl one. Okay.
I'm sorry. It's so slow and tedious.
Right.
Yeah. The wolf is fine. The snake is fine, but the owl one is just like, and now we have these Batman utility belt wanking arseholes with invulnerability phases that
don't really make sense.
That don't really make sense, and now you have to destroy the Batman utility belt before you can destroy them, and then you can actually start fighting the fucking Archon. BT dubs, these things fucking heal themselves.
BT dubs, there's some weird orb that flies up, which, whether you destroy it or not, seems to weirdly, supposed to probably is make it easier to kill them or something, but then sometimes doesn't. And by the way, we're barely showing you this, and what? Yeah. Bubbles? Belts? What is going on?
Fuck the owl one.
Okay, there we go. Right, okay. But I do want to say as positive, it is nice to see them actually experiment with another sortie. I always felt that they needed to add more. I would like to see a Railjack sortie. I know everyone would hate that, but I'm sorry. It's like, get in. That's the game now. Get into it.
I would like to see the Archon fights require you to use your operator rather than fighting them with your Warframes like you did in the quest.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Without the bajillion ads.
I would also like to see additional Archons with different types of shards. Maybe a purple shard that's a mix of red and blue. Maybe an orange shard, which is again a mix of wait, no, that one.
Red and yellow.
There is a yellow.
There's a yellow.
Yeah.
There's an amber. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I would just like to see these mixes of colors. Just like, I mean, they don't have to be.
Or they could do other things. I mean, they don't even have to be a mix of those two. They could be like, so blue is what? Energy. Yellow is.
No, blue is also armor. Because that's what I use them for. Armor.
Oh,
it's
you could still find other things to do with them.
Exactly, right? But the whole problem is that nope, can't do none of that. I mean, maybe it's a case of instead of actually, oh God heavens forbid, you actually fuse the Archon shards together to make these other colors, right? Oh, so you get a blue and a red, and you can make a purple. It's like, but that
I'm wondering how long it'll be before they introduce valencing to create Tau Forge shards.
There'll be some additional system in to alleviate Tau. To add more Tau Forge shards. There definitely will be.
Oh please, do it. Only fucking do it if there's content in the game that requires you to use them.
Nope.
Otherwise, it's just pandering.
Everyone wants their Tau Forged.
Why?
Because it will.
Because it's better,
right,
Xeno.
release
How?
content. No.
Better.
It's nothing to do with that. Release content first. Make it really restrictive to get thing.
Yeah.
1 week to get thing. Change it. So it'll take, I don't know, it takes 9 months or something to get all the bits if you're lucky, and and then it's a chance.
No,
Change
look at that more than
content.
that.
Change content so you get 1 a month of your choice. Content reinvigorated, people playing more. Numbers up. Content has been repurposed and increases the return.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was actually 75 weeks.
Yeah. Manufactured artificial scarcity to start with, and then reuse it. It doesn't matter whether or not you use the shards for anything.
As long as they don't backtrack too quickly, because that's been a large part of the problem. They backtrack too quickly.
Oh, they'll probably just sell them for platinum at some point soon. Trust me.
They make my numbers bigger, so they're better. I need to
better.
Oh my god! So on a small tangent, Loz, stop me when you want. I had an argument with Nazith earlier that one of the biggest problems for Warframe is the fact that you can see damage numbers and just damage numbers, because it just forces players to just. Nope, I need to do more damage. I need to make the maximum damage. If I'm not doing a gajillion damage, then, fucking corrosive projection. A 4-team corrosive projection would just remove the armor from all Grineer. And how many years did it take DE to actually remove that? Because no one was doing it. Because, oh no, I need to take is it Steel Charge? Which does more damage.
No, more capacity.
More capacity.
Well, yeah, which does more damage. Whatever.
Or more damage.
No, but it wasn't the actual. Well, okay, maybe in general, but for damage in general, but like Steel Charge wasn't because of it was changed to
it lets you slot in other
back.
mods.
It was all the fiddling they did with it over the years that meant that it was the aura with the highest capacity.
But regardless of all that. It's just like, oh, we need more damage numbers. We need more damage numbers. I fucking hate the damage numbers, and I wish they would never.
Counterpoint. You can see damage numbers in Elden Ring and all the Souls games. The problem is not that you can see the numbers. The problem is that Warframe facilitates these ridiculously, insanely, outrageously high numbers.
That's got nothing
Okay, they've both had your points they're put across. I will settle in between with a point that I think explains how ridiculous the system is Warframe. I've never seen a game that can have a crit of a crit of a crit.
Mm-hmm.
That's goddamn.
That's
stupid.
how stupid it is.
Yeah,
and that's how stupid it is. And at the same time, this is when I shoot a bullet into somebody's head, which counts as a damage bonus for shooting in the head. But then that was a crit bullet that critted on its crit that critted on its crit. I have no idea what that means, and that's why it's so stupid and gone out of all logical sense. Right. Anyway, let's pull back to what we're establishing on the content now. So I think we talked about shards, we talked about things.
Missions.
That's it. So now we're on to Echoes of Veilbreaker.
No, Carl missions.
We talked about Carl missions, and as I said,
there's only 3. We didn't. We kind of touched on it a little, but if there's anything else you wanted to say about them,
needs more than 3. 3 was nowhere near enough.
Yes.
3 was like
good idea. Good reuse of content, just needs to be more.
It's criminally low because I gave up ages ago.
They need to have already added 1 more by now,
at least. Right? They're so repetitive. Like, I'm sorry, I gave up. I was bored.
Remember the way they used to add tile sets and new mission types way early on. I would expect that sort of.
Yeah, I don't. The thing I don't really get why. Seeing as the new war, unless they had to completely rebuild it again from new war, and if that's the case, oh my god, they need to have a more modular system of design because that's just ridiculous. The new war had the playing as Carl, system. Okay, you've got now you can command your allies, but that's basically what Viso had. So they've just put them together into one character.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be breaking the game in any way. So it shouldn't have been that big a problem. And then. So the system of playing as Carl and doing missions as Carl was already in place. They just needed to make the missions, and that apparently took 8 months, 9 months, apparently. Mm. And the missions are majority reused content, reused tiles. Okay, there's some new audio lines, fair enough. If I have to have a mission or two where Sister says she's busy and so she doesn't join in, and it's just Carl talking, and maybe Carl's got a sore throat, so he doesn't talk much either. I wouldn't care. I want more missions. I mean, most of the missions are just pre-scripted things. Most of them don't have they've had one additional tile or a little bit of new content added in that someone's had to build, but not much. But you wouldn't even need to do that. You could easily do those missions with entirely old tiles and content and just put different objectives around the map. And instead, we only have 3 of them, and they
have Carl infiltrating a Grenadier prison on the Kuva Fortress.
Reuse the
Queen
use the
has
Kuva Fortress,
political prisoner. You know.
Reuse the Wolf of Saturn 6 tile. Change a few little cosmetic twerks on it. There you go. You've got another prison tile. We can have them go all over the place, and it doesn't need to be all content. Just minor changes is enough. It really is. Don't need to re-wreck the wheel each time. And so it's a crime that there's only 3 missions, and instead of it being and it's the reason why we haven't gotten more missions, by the way. Again, it's because the way that they have to release for consoles now, it has to be a handful of big releases a year. That's it. We can't have little updates every month, because that's what PC's lost. But that's what the trade-off we were lost. But at the same time, I would have thought that I would have preferred the Echoes to be delayed 3-4 weeks if it meant they could squeeze in a cheap, quick additional car mission.
Yeah.
Does it really take them that long to build these things? Come on, just give me one. Would have been nice.
I don't know. Maybe the game is just so old now. The engine's so old, and effectively they have to constantly, crack a rib to get it
it's
back
on triage.
I mean, taking into consideration, Nazeth, you messaged me part of the message last week about this, but sorry, what was the exploiter orb is now bugged, right? What the fuck did they touch that impacted the exploiter orb, right? I don't understand. What? I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just perplexed as to the intricacies.
It's the same way Trials broke every update. What were they doing that broke Trials? What? How?
Now, I'm not an expert on games or anything, but surely it's the way that ever they're doing it, referring to, instead of being completely modular independent sections, they're just referring to bits and bobs from each other all the time. So they're trying to build this new game mode over here, and it alters a few variables to make this work. But by the way, Trials was actually relying on that fundamentally to function. And so that change, which was a minor change over here, which didn't break anything else, just completely snapped Trials. I assume it's something like that.
I think you're going to track it down in billions and billions of lines of, well, probably not billions, but millions and millions of lines of code.
The big thing is, tracking down a fault is relatively easy, right? Understanding the cause of the fault is something entirely different, right?
Yeah, so, it broke here. You don't know why it broke here.
So, not to get all laborious about it, when developing for servers and things, a lot of developers in my field have taken to this approach of, we don't need logs. Fucking why? And I'm not saying this is how DE do it, don't get me wrong. But a lot of web developers, we don't need logs. Yeah, you do. It's because if something goes wrong, you need to know what caused it to go wrong. You need to know what was the error message that went wrong. No, we don't need logs. So we started using this service that cannot keep logs. There's no option to keep logs. It's not possible for the infrastructure. And then we've had nothing but issue after issue after issue. And trying to identify those issues has been tantamount to what the hell. In fact, it was the method of logging bugs that was causing the bug to break it. So we couldn't even log the bug of the bug being there because we were trying to log bugs. So it's a clusterfuck. And trying to shoehorn this shit together, not fully understanding the ins and outs because it's too fucking huge. It's really common, especially with a system like Warframe that's basically been in existence for the last 10 years.
Yeah. That's why they rely so heavily on a bug being reproducible, because if you can reproduce it reliably, it makes it way easier to track down. But if it's just a thing that happens now and then, and you don't know why, and it just you can't force it to happen, that's good luck. Good fucking luck.
I would be amazed if we saw Soulframe in the next 2.5 years, right? Because if I was DE, I would try
rebuilding it from the ground up.
No, I wouldn't rebuild it from the ground up, but I would learn from the mistakes. I see, like, right, there's this chunk over here that caused the exploiter to break given these conditions. I'm going to rework this. So it's this kind of system for this kind of boss. And it's a modular system separated from everything else.
Larger scale than that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Warframe was originally this tiny, very focused, mission-based thing.
Yeah.
How have we seen it expand? All these various different things. What caused that issues and stumbling blocks?
It's like Tetsuo at the end of Akira. It just everywhere.
Sorry, Loz, what were you saying?
What were the stumbling blocks in building these new additions which were never intended? How can we, going forward, have a design policy that allows the development of the game to be more open and unrestricted in case we have a completely different... All of a sudden, we're like, oh, what we're going to have is, I don't know, flight or something in the middle of these game modes from the start. So they consider that instead of it being very rigid, the way your character is like stuck to the floor and can never see things, like, well, how can we change that? So, because in this one area, this new world we go to, you have to fly upside down or something.
Yeah.
How do we start developing the game now with the idea that it could expand into anything rather than being really rigid?
So I
being limited in scope.
I hate to say this. I think at some point in time, you should always upgrade a major version. So it's like, right, Warframe, it's imagine it wasn't shit. It's like Overwatch, right? Overwatch.
Overwatch. Sorry, just want to. He means Overwatch is shit. Not Warframe.
Yes.
Regardless of the fact that Overwatch is shit. So they got to a point where it's like, okay, Overwatch will now be in this locked state. We will do minor hotfixes, but we will not be adding anything new to Overwatch. No maps, no mission types, no new characters, none of that stuff. And then they focus on Overwatch 2, which is basically an upgraded version of the game engine, where they can then fix these things. So it's like, right, because we had to cobble in this loading system, because I would imagine the open world loading system was very difficult to cobble into the already existing engine.
Do you remember the loading issues when planes launched?
Yeah.
So I just want to know he's now moved from Overwatch back talking about Warframe.
Yes. So I imagine one thing that they would do for Warframe 2 or Soulframe, right, is effectively
essentially just implement that everywhere.
So no. Let's just scrap the old original tile loading system. Just have the open world system do the tile loading system for us instead of having these two things trying to compete with each other. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? So cool. I did kind of like wonder, shit, did I just lose them?
So no, it's fine. I was with you. Yeah. Right. So that's what I don't know how we got onto that. Oh, the Carl system. So go back to Carl system. I think we all, and it's important to keep positive points. No, important to say the positives. We all enjoyed the Carl system, didn't we? At first, loved it. Wanted to see more of that. And the reason why I'm being so critical of it is because we felt it was so limited of what we finally got.
Of the final product, it was.
The final product.
I think,
and we want more.
I think
it just needs to be more. Yeah.
If I had to pick a word, it was too repetitive.
Yes.
Right? I think even 5 different missions to rotate between would give it a lot more longevity.
Tell you what, if it had one mission, but the objectives would be rotated. Mm-hmm. So, you have to hack this terminal over here, which then unlocks this prison cell, or you have to open up this prison cell to get a code to steal from this vault, right? You know, if they did something along those lines, again, I would be happy with just...
They do kind of do that a little bit. Like in the Earth one, they change where...
Oh, no, they just the variability, the thumper parts. But no, I see what Xeno's saying. If they added, let's say, we don't fight Corpus much. Let's say they added a very generic mission that could be floated. So the 3 ones you've got are very specific. If there was just corpus supply raid, and it's all the lines are very generic. They have to record the equivalent of like, you know, a few lines just as a bit of banter.
Yeah,
it's like, well, we're just going for supplies. The whole thing is, right, we're going to go find supplies, Carl. So it's just a random mission where you're just getting supplies, and so it can be variable. But if you hack this, do this, it's on this tile, and then next time it's on this tile. This time it's on this.
Right.
And it can be applied to just very generic stuff, and thus in the rotation,
it would give you that. It would give you that feel of
more missions than in one mission would feel like it'd be fresh.
Just to confirm that it doesn't always have to be like hack, steal, rescue. It could be
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes, cool.
Sometimes it's a spy. Sometimes it's basically just the existing missions, and it's just generic and just random. Using the basic system that Warframe is built on, so that it can easily, this one additional mission adds a lot more variety in the massive rotation.
Gives it that random generation feel. Yeah.
I mean,
that'd be perfect.
I would have preferred that on one tile, right, than the 3 scripted missions that we have had ad infinitum. It's just like, oh yeah, I have to do the same one again.
Oh, this is just the quest mission again.
I love being back at the Murex.
Love that Murex.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to rescue these dudes again. Oh, I gotta destroy these goobers.
Gotta dodge these stupid priesty people that make no sense.
Gotta steal the ship.
Why have they only got limited vision, and what's powering them?
Gotta crash the ship again.
Oh, they're shooting me in the ship. Better pick up this Gratlow.
Gotta...
So yeah, sorry, we get negatives, trying to make it positive. I really like the system. I was waiting to see how they're going to use it. I thought that was a good system. I like the whole purchasing stuff as well. It's also a good secondary source of basic shards, which is good. I would have wanted more from that, but I liked it as a whole. But it just
like the little boss fights, that they added. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool, but just more. And I'm shocked that, and of course, and this is something I think we summarize at the end of this, that maybe this year has been a year where a lot's been going in the background. Big things are being set in motion, and it just wasn't the year to this. You just had to. This is the year we got less, so that next few years we can have more. Maybe that's the case. But when you're sitting in that year where you haven't had much, it doesn't. There's not much. It doesn't fill your belly very well. It doesn't feel very good.
I'll tell you one thing. I really hope that this isn't a case of like what a lot of studios will do, like in with EA, where they'll just start siphoning developers from one studio to go work on another FIFA game. I hope this isn't a case of like
Warframe's dying. It's time to move on to Soulframe.
I don't want to put it that way, right? I think it's a case of like, oh, we need to borrow Dave from your programming team to do some stuff on Soulframe, right? I mean, Blizzard was notorious for doing this. Like, all of a sudden, the development on one game would just stop to get this another thing over the finish line.
Well, a good example for EA is the Anthem's. All the problems with Anthem. Is that EA were like, right, we have to pay all these bloody things for like game engines. What is engine? Why do I have to? Why can't we just put it all on one game engine? Then we pay one fee, and then we have the same experts working on it. That would be best. Streamline it. I'm a business manager. I know how games develops and works. That makes all sense. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We have to make what game are you making? Oh, we're making a third-person sci-fi shooter with aerial mechanics. Right. Is the game engine set up for this? No. What's it designed for? Making FIFA.
Yeah.
Making COD.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. So who are the experts making this? Have made this engine? Oh, there's the people who developed the engine over there, and there's like, okay. Right. We need all of the time with them to make this into this third-person amazing game that we're trying to sell. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. You'll have all the time you need, but not tomorrow. They need to work on the next FIFA. Oh, and next week they're working on the new COD. Oh, and then next week they're working on the COD for the year after. And then after that, you can have 5 minutes with them. So it's not that, and that wasn't that, as you try to say about Warframe's and everything. It's like that was before Anthem was coming out, and they still had that sort of problem. So it just does happen in games.
And it turned out amazing. Everyone knows Anthem today as their favorite space sci-fi.
Still running. It's still running.
Yep.
It's still running. But yeah, so that's how, like, as for Xeno's example, it could be like, oh, we just need to borrow this person for this bit on Soulframe, but
Right,
we'll give them back soon. Oh, well, we meant for them to come back in a week's time, but then actually we realized that while we were doing this, they could also work on these other 2 sections, and that'll save us like a month of their time down the road. So if they did that now, in the long run, it'll be best. Oh, and while they were doing that, we thought we'd borrow them for an extra 2 weeks, but in reality, it will help you because they're going to do some stuff that will carry over into Warframe. Trust.
Yeah.
And thus the person wasn't able to develop Warframe content, but not to any mean intention. That could happen. Who knows?
Right.
Right, that's it for Veilbreaker, which, again, back to positives, we wanted more of. So then there's Echoes of Veilbreaker, which fixed a few things.
Did it?
It mainly just gave us the ability to pick up, like if you didn't get all of the gene tags in one run, you could do another one and get the rest of them. And
it fixed the bloody when you're on the ship, you had to shoot things, which was still one of them.
Yes, yeah. Well, that worked the first time, and then it didn't work the second time.
It didn't work the second time. Yeah, so weird. But that was about it. And then let's move on to the final patch of the year.
Lua's Prey.
Lua's
I'm not
extra survival missions.
I'm not talking about this one, so one of you, please.
Go on, Nazeth, because, like, seriously, this.
That's really it. Lua's extra 2 survival missions. Hooray! Hooray, everyone! We get to play survival, and occasionally there are sentients and Thrax enemies that drain the survival. But they're pretty easy to deal with. And by the way, you can use your Necromech in regular missions now. Did you know you can use your Necromech in regular missions now? But you only get it for like 2 seconds or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it falls over because it's sad. And there's this Gaviri Dax wandering around who gives you random buffs, but there's no explanation for him. He's just kind of there.
Wait, does he give random buffs? I thought it was just power strength.
Oh, it's probably the same buff. I don't know. I don't hang around him long enough to really care.
I mean, yes, it's fair. That is.
It makes like no change at all.
Yeah, that is fair.
So there is Tycho, which is a survival node on Lua. Do I find sentience in that mission?
Yes.
So that's not something special for
no
conjunction survival.
No, it's not.
So conjunction survival's differences are there are
Thrax enemies that spawn.
Thrax enemies that spawn every 5 minutes that can delete the survival. And isn't there Drac Master
corrupted?
Oh yes, there's the new corrupted Drac Master that only exists there and nowhere else.
Drac Master corrupted. Person who walks around and his power strength buff of walking around pointlessly, and I can use my Necromech for 3 seconds every 10 hours.
Yeah.
Right, so that's it. So I can have Lua Survival, which I already have as a different node, with those 4 alterations.
But you do get a token system here. You can use the Lua Thraxplasm, which is somehow different from regular Thraxplasm. In what meaningful way? I don't fucking know. But you can use the Lua Thraxplasm to buy Varuna if you can't get her parts.
I don't freaking know.
I don't fucking know.
That's pretty nuts. Okay, yep. Which was an interesting addition to the way to acquire Warframe, and so it wasn't quite so grindy and allows you not to be.
I do like.
RNG,
I've been saying for a while now there needs to be a pity system. Yeah.
Safety nets are always useful. Yep, definitely. Right. I know. I don't think we need to. Well, if Xeno wants to add anything, but I know Xeno very much could have a lot to say, and he has said a lot about how much his feels on conjunction.
Oh yeah, there's a new tile in there too that has absolutely no meaning. The eyes light up red if you happen to be wearing Varuna. Otherwise, it does nothing.
And very Shoutout.
It's just there. Yeah. Yep.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're making art.
We're making art.
We did get a new Warframe. So we got two new Warframes this year?
No, that doesn't feel right.
Three new Warframes. Gaia, Styanax, and Varuna.
Yes.
Is that a hit?
That's about right.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was Caliban for New War.
Yeah. No, you're right.
No, it's usually more than that, Nazeth, because that means this year we'll actually reduce the amount. If you think about it, there's a guaranteed 4 Prime Warframes a year because that's every 3 months.
Oh, that's right. They are every 3 months. You're right.
So you want at least 4 Warframes a year. So so we're actually reducing the amount for Primes.
You know what? I'm kind of fine with that. I think they need to make less Warframes anyway. and focus on
Wow. Okay.
other
We'll
content.
save. We should probably have a list of questions like: Should Warframe in 2023? Do we want to see more Warframes, or is there enough Warframes in the game? That's something we can come to later.
Enough.
Well, we can come
There
to
are
that.
more Warframes than there are states in the United States.
We can come to that in a section. Okay, so do we want to? So Varuna was in this pack. We'll talk to Warframes and hold on in a sec. But let's say conjunction survival. Is there anything more we want to say about conjunction survival?
I defer to previous episodes of Tenno Clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, playing the high level one on Steel Path is really fun because it's really high level, and you can use your guns against it. But that's about it. And I've never done that, and I don't really care to do that because I don't like playing the game for that reason. Yeah, exactly. Now, I'd rather go fight my sister.
So I'm all for giving people more access to higher level nodes of the existing system, and at the same time, I do like that DE have taken an existing game mode and put in some frills on it and released it. But to me, this is something that should just be released every few months. Lua has Conjunction Survival. Why doesn't Pluto have Frozen Exterminates? Why doesn't Eris have? Deimos should have the what was the get people out mission?
Defection.
Defection. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing defection. That should be a Deimos special mission. You know, these little the same game mode with a few little tweaks and extra mechanics, which doesn't change very much. They're literally just some mobs spawn and they make this number go down, or there's a dude walking around who gives you a buff, or you can use your necromech. These should just be added in quickly. Whereas it was this whole big thing. I don't get why compared to the Zariman game modes, which do feel like whole new ideas, right? What are we going to do? We're going to have this whole thing where there's like the mission itself has a value bar, which, your effects, you've got to work at speed to change different states and different buffs happening. That's like, okay, that's ground scratch work up. But when it's just, we took a game mode, we sprinkled on it, we should get more of those. We should be getting a hell of a lot more of those.
Dino and I were actually talking earlier about this, about giving like normal missions random modifiers.
Yeah,
and I think that's perfect. That's exactly kind of what you're talking about. Is you've got a survival mode, but we sprinkle in these weird enemies that drain your life support faster every now and then.
I remember talking about this.
It was when we were also coming up with ideas on how to make the star chart more streamlined and less just the way it is.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. So, Conjunction Survival as a finishing point to the updates of this year was not something which really engaged me.
They made it sound like it was going to be this. It's a brand new game mode. Oh, it's going to be so cool, guys. It's just survival.
Yeah, and seeing as they were like, and we're gonna put necromechs in all missions. I'm like, oh, good, okay. So they fixed the problems with obviously going through doors, and they're going to come up with a game mode which is going to use them in some meaningful way. No, it was a cooldown that you could randomly use for what reason?
Yeah,
it's got a 10% uptime.
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes, and then you have to wait 10 minutes for it to.
No. It's less than that. It's less than that because I think it's 2 minutes and then 5.5 minutes you have to wait for it to come back.
It's longer on Steel Path, I know that.
Is it longer on Steel Path?
Yeah, I remember it being on Steel Path, it's longer.
Okay.
I saw that. So it's even worse on Steel Path. So the uptime is, what is that? That's like, less than 50% uptime?
Oh, yeah.
For what reason? I mean, and you say longer than 5 minutes, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So if I use them if I require my necromech to kill one Luathrax thing, I won't have it ready for the next one. Sorry, Nazith, you go.
I'm looking on the wiki. So it is 2 minutes. Duration of 2 minutes, has a 10-minute cooldown, or 7 minutes and 30 seconds with the intrinsic tactical rank 8.
That's the one.
What is that on normal and Steel Path?
It doesn't say anything about Steel Path being different.
Maybe maybe I just read it on an off-Reddit comment or something. Then I swear it was different.
It could be.
Maybe people weren't realizing that maybe some people had the buff.
Right.
And then
yeah.
Could have been. Yeah. Oh well, but still, that just feels really cheap. They've been holding them back for a long time. Like, we can't add them in normal missions. As you said, Nazat, they were making out that this is going to be a big change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what? Why did you do this? Now,
don't get my hopes up and then smash them DE, please.
Right, and
be honest with me. You did the same thing with Dora's Mix.
Just to round off Wise and to give the alternative you were saying, maybe it's because they never intended for this patch to exist, and then this is content that was going to be packaged with Deviri coming out in December, let's say, but it got released early. That's why it feels like a mishmashy thing that maybe with a bit more creative time in the workshops, they would have given more of a reason why it all ties together. And then as part of the Deviri content patch, it would have felt like a bit more, it'd been a smaller addition. Oh, and by the way, there's this little conjunction survival for you could do, when you've done all the other stuff. Instead, it had to stand alone, and it wasn't allowed. It wasn't really that strong for it to stand alone.
Yeah, if this had been part of something else, it wouldn't. But this was a major update. Yeah. It really wasn't. It really wasn't.
A part of me
right, and that finishes up. Sorry, hang on. That finished. Oh, sorry. You go. Sorry.
A part of me feels that with I feel that Conjunction Survival, regardless of the fact that it was hyped, it's a simplistic game mode because they want people to engage with it. People haven't engaged with the likes of Void, Armageddon, but they have with Disruption. Is that the one?
Yes, Disruption. Yeah.
They haven't with Defection, but they do with the regular stuff. I feel that what DE could potentially do is effectively get a bunch of content creators in a room and ask them to put together a tutorial, right? Get the likes of iFlynn, Tactical Potato, Brozime, a bunch of them, even Quiet Shy, right? And just say, right, we want you to put together a tutorial video on how this works for your community, right? So that when people go into it, and they release the tutorial video, please, for the love of God, they release the tutorial video like a week or two before the game mode comes out. So people can watch it, know how it works, and then don't instantly react going, I hate it.
But you see, when they change things in the Echoes patch of whatever that content is, now that video will be completely useless.
Make a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hide the old one.
Yeah.
And if it's a case of money, right? Well, just make it part of the deal. Make it part of the contract, which is what you call it? Oh God, you have to sunset the old one for a new one. We'll give you the details that you need to know for the update, and then you got to release the updated version, right? It's as simple as that. D would have to provide assets, maybe gameplay, or maybe stills, maybe the dev stream. Sorry, hiccups. But I really feel that if they start pimping this stuff, then I mean, I've gotten to a point now where I've started watching more reviews about video games, but I hate it when the video can't come out until the embargo is passed. Yeah,
because then you don't know if you want to buy it. Yeah,
it's just like so. Oh, look at all these day one incentives and shit like this. Well, fuck those day one incentives, because I want to find out about the game itself. Like, I was really excited for Midnight Suns. No shit, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. The recent Marvel game that was done by Firaxis. I was like really, really keen and interested to give it a go and things. But then I watched a review, as I'm now inclined to do, and like the plot is just horrific. It's like, teenagers at high school. Like, what the fuck is this plot?
Yep, that sounds like something I want to watch.
Anyway, so yeah, if DE were to do that,
never.
Yeah, I know what you meant. But if DE were to do these tutorial videos a week or two before the mode's release, let's make it a week, right? Then you're going to touch as many bases as you can, and players aren't going to rally against it as hard.
Yeah, they're gonna go in and be like, I don't know what to do. This is a terrible game mode.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just gonna get another conjunction. We're gonna get inflated defation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be Yeah. Anyway. Right.
Right. So I feel that rounds out the patches for the year.
Yep.
Let's do our summary now. How do we feel of the year? So what we got, what we wanted, quickly. So short summaries.
Are we saying what we want for next year? Or...
No. So I feel I did enjoy the patches we did get this year, apart from Lewis Prey at the end. But I did say like why that probably was. It was just chopped off content and probably was never meant to exist. And then had to stand alone when it wasn't allowed to. And they had to because they're like, okay, we need to get a Warframe out because we intend for a Warframe out. I assume there's probably business reasons why Warframes are out. They probably, so many things like we promised we'd get this many Warframes out the year. Probably like investors' calls. I remember for the reason we knew Deimos was coming because they told the investors we're definitely doing an open world this year. So that's probably why Lewis prices this. I liked the content we got. I liked the Zariman. I liked Carl's missions. I was okay with the sortie missions. I just wanted more of them and more depth, more meaning, and it was just lacking.
Lots of very surface, shallow. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
What about you, Nazeth?
Oh.
Basically the same. I liked the content that did come out, but it didn't have enough staying power because there was no real. It made the game wider, not deeper.
Yeah.
It was a parallel system, not a integrated, we're going to actually make the game better or advance the story in some meaningful way aside from New War, obviously. I really hope that it's just a transitional period and they're working to try and have a more cohesive vision of where they want to go in the future.
To just simply add on to that, there is obviously the Nora's Mix stuff, which feels more of a resignation to not continuing it than a placeholder. Zariman and Veilbreaker just feel like margarita pizzas. I want something a bit more.
Don't use an acronym. Say, did you enjoy the content, or don't? I know you're trying to say like that. You try and use your thing. Let's use a metaphor. Say, did you enjoy them? Did you not enjoy them? No. I don't know if you like a margarita pizza. It doesn't mean anything to me.
No, it's plain. It's plain. No, I don't.
Right. So
everyone likes a margarita pizza.
Yeah, I ordered pizza. I ordered pizza the other day. I ordered a spare margarita pizza.
You wouldn't want it every time necessarily.
Yeah, I want more. I don't want the cool cheese tomato base, awesome. Again.
No, can we? I know what you said. No, you haven't. You've been using acronyms that analogy several times. This thing you haven't really explained why margarita.
It is plain. It is boring. It is got no texture to it. I want more.
So now link your analogy back into the game. More is in what?
More mission types, more environments, more gamers, more challenge, more anything.
More reason to engage.
Yeah. Right? More Archons. But if you put something right, say a word. Just say
Muffin?
Right, I want more muffins.
Word.
Right? Say something related to this year. Right?
Necromex.
I want more Necromex.
Queen died.
Why can't we have more Necromex? Right?
Okay.
Right?
Well, no, you make a point. Where's our modular Arc Rings? Where's my Archons? You released the Archons, which are all existing boss fights. You literally just took those.
Where's more?
The missions. Where's the new Archons?
But they added sentient phases to them where they have invulnerability.
Where's more? Where's more? As I said, the only reason why I don't like the Owl one is because of the one that they fucking attached it to is the sodding Batman one, right?
Yeah,
the wolf.
That is the worst sentient ever.
Right? Archon. But sorry, you mean the Batman?
No.
Sorry,
the Batman ones.
I'm sorry. But the wolf fight is fine. The snake fight is fine. The Owl one is just horrific, right? But why can't we have more Archons? Why can't we have more phases? Why can't we have more stages? Why can't we have more rewards? Why can't we have more Archon shards? Why can't we have more currency systems? Why can't we have more anything? Right? You pick a word, and I will ask, why can't we have more of it?
Actually, I actually kind of think we need less currency systems, but neither here nor there.
No, but
Again.
we just had a currency system to get Varuna, right?
Yeah, but why is it Lewith Thraxplasm? Why is it not just Thraxplasm? Why do they have to add?
No, but they had
a
to
new
add that
thing?
in because you needed to start from 0.
From 0, yeah,
You
but
Why can't it be Argon shards? Right? Who has a surplus of Argon shards? Literally no one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. That's Xeno's summary of the year. Right. Okay.
More.
So he
More.
wanted more the whole year through. What he got.
I-
You did enjoy some of what you got though this year.
Oh yeah. Right?
But it was not enough. It was
nowhere
the
near
bare
it.
minimum.
I would have been happy, right? Had we had the Zariman, right? In April, like we did, or basically May, right? But then we got the echoes of the Zariman in July, August sort of time, which actually gave more game modes, right? More angel fights, more everything. And then we didn't see...
Very different kinds of angels, not just the exact same one.
Yeah, and then we didn't see Veilbreaker until maybe, I don't know, November, December, right? But no, we just had fucking margarita pizzas everywhere.
Are in there.
More.
I suppose so. Another way to describe the analogy instead of margaritas is just for everyone at home.
Tomato soup.
If I'm going, Xeno wants to buy a pizza, so he orders a pizza from the shop. So
Yeah.
the shop starts building him his pizza.
Yeah.
The bare minimum at which they have made what they could deliver to him is they get the pizza base out, they put the tomato on, they put the cheese on. It's like,
that's it.
He's asked for a pizza. There is a pizza.
Yeah.
Now we sent him a pizza yesterday, and he liked that pizza. Maybe yesterday we actually made him a chicken and sweet corn pizza. I
Sure.
don't know,
Spinach,
pepperoni and spinach and olives,
Yeah.
whatever. And then, all right, okay, that's what we made for him yesterday. What we're making today? Okay, well, we've reached the stage of cheese tomato on a base.
Let's just ship that out.
Oh well, we'll send that to him then. And it's like, okay, so maybe today that's what they do. They send him a cheese and tomato.
And then they
pizza.
send you the sweet corn and chicken
Xeno's
later.
like, oh well, okay. Okay, fine. Right, well, tomorrow I'll order a pizza again, and maybe I'll get a better pizza from them. And he phones up again and says, okay, I would like a pizza, the best pizza you can make. And they go, okay. And then once again, they get to the point of the tomato, the pizza base in the oven. They put the cheese. They put
But we
tomato.
gotta make another pizza for him tomorrow, so we know we're gonna get this one out
Yes,
now.
yeah.
And they
Yeah,
think,
that's
yeah,
it. That
oh,
is
well,
it.
we're going to do another pizza tomorrow. So, well, we've reached this stage. We're going to get started on tomorrow's pizza for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, hang on, the toppings are right here. If we just take another 30 minutes, we can put some toppings on. Just let me cook
But that's
this
30
chicken.
minutes we could be putting into the next one.
Yeah.
That's 30 minutes we can put in tomorrow's pizza. Yeah. And so they just end up always making this pizza
And then
shop ends up
take
making-
10 hours working on just the dough because they got to flip it a bunch of times. And yeah.
Even though they already made dough, they look up a different book on how to make dough for tomorrow. And then they go, well, maybe we should use sugar-free tomato sauce tomorrow. Still tomato sauce. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, that's the tomato thing you explained. The pizza theory explained. Anyway, moving on. So that's that. Let's be positive. Oh, Nazar, did you do your review for the year?
Yeah, you did as well.
Huh?
You did.
Yeah, I did mine. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So there were some positives, but
There were.
not very much, and we all wanted more in different aspects, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing, Xeno. I have one word. I have 2 words technically that you will not want more of.
Uh-huh.
Player housing.
Touche.
Well,
Touche, good sir. Touche.
But to push back on that, if there was a meaning, a reason,
Yeah.
or,
Okay,
or the
yes,
system
yeah.
that Xeno
More reason.
outlined,
Or even if they were iterating on player housing that we already have.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Again, so yes, so now instead, let's. I tried to. We got some positives in there. I know we were quite negative because it's been not the greatest of years.
No.
And of comparing, almost 10 years of Warframe, this will never be held up as, oh yeah, this year there was just this amazing content this year. So moving forward, though, let's think about next year. What things would you like to see next year? Obviously, we know we're getting Deviri. I don't think we know about much else. What cool things would really make it a good year for you next year? What do you want?
Trials.
Trials would be interesting.
Right, let's see. Nazareth.
I want to see better integration between Railjack and the rest of the star chart, the way it was, intended to be. I want to see the Railjack map just as a part of the regular star chart, and you use your Railjack to go to places and do your missions, and then you leave. You know, that's what I want.
Xeno.
More mission types.
Repeat your earlier point as well.
Trials.
Oh, trials, yeah.
Trials, yep. More mission types. Anything else?
I thought we were doing this like one at a time.
Railjack trials.
Yeah,
Railjack.
Railjack. Round robin.
No, we're not round robining this.
Fine.
We're just.
I want to see more trials. I want to see Nazith's microphone stop doing that thing.
Oh my god! Why does it keep doing that?
I don't know. Remove it from your PC. Why are you keeping your microphone in your PC? No, it's not.
I think we need to get him a new microphone.
I think we need to get him a new PC.
No, also.
I want to see more challenging content that they don't back down from. Right? It's like here's a bit of hard content that's supposed to last you weeks, months, even. Right? You can, keep it on the weekly schedule, much like the raids in World of Warcraft. I want to see an improvement to the node system, right? I've spoken to Nazith at length about this, and I think they need to adopt something akin to the nodes in Darktide, and a combination of that and the looking for group system in World of Warcraft. So effectively, I want to do an exterminate. Find me a group. I don't care what tile it's on or anything like that. But there's an option to expand it where you can say, I need this exterminate to be on Phobos or Mars because I'm looking for a specific mod from a specific enemy that's on that tile set. I want to see... What else do I want to see? Events. Give me at least one event next year.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if it's Eyes of Blight. Give me something. Right? There you go.
Well, yeah, there we go. I'd like to see an actual Nightwave.
No,
even if it's just a story that they told to us.
No, Nightwave's dead.
Nightwave's dead. Okay, to be fair, I appreciate your want and desire, but I mean, the problem for me with that is that the Nightwave will go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't getting that. Okay. Cool. What else would I want? I would like a revisiting of
player housing. Sorry.
So with the release of Viri, which is going to be early in the game, I would like to know. I would like them to reassess what they expect a new player to do, what they do, and we've talked about it in the past. I would like them to look at reps of the other open worlds. I'd like to look at the node system and the way the nodes are aligned on bloody Earth. Once again, they're putting... I mean, you were saying about Deimos, I think you were saying about the token system. Could you imagine if instead of Deimos being aimed at quite early play, because it still is quite early to reach Deimos, if instead it was kept at the end of the star chart and this is for you to get onto later, not quickly.
After you've already uncovered the void and seen the Orkin at their height, now you get to see the aftermath of
because it's still, where is it? It's Mars. It's off Mars, and it's not.
Yes,
I don't know how long it would.
Phobos is your first. Phobos is your first junction to the node that goes to the void. So you can, in theory, get to Deimos, I believe, before you can even get to the void.
Wow.
In theory, it depends on where they're putting it. Like, who knows? They might turn around and say, "We've put Deimos on Mercury." What? They might. It's a paradox.
No, I mean, currently, the way it is currently, you can get to Deimos before you can get to the void.
Oh, yes, because there's not even a junction on Deimos.
Yep.
So...
I would also like to see more... Oh, the operations one. Yes. Now, and I'm going to say this. No, I doubt
Sorry,
anyone
operations?
over here, but you said events, didn't you?
Events, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, operations, which is what event is. I don't get why they can't put an event, like design it, put it into the patch, but you don't deploy it yet. You go, right, okay, because as I said earlier, we are limited by console. The PC is not the Warframe it used to be. Warframe on PC, because they can't go, oh yeah, we've met, every 2 weeks. That's what Steve used to be so happy about, because he'd be like, oh, we've made this content and we're getting it out. I remember the thing they said about when they did a survival test, the canisters that dropped from enemies.
Mm-hmm.
They made that model the night before the patch went out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just a cut down of the bigger survival canister.
Yeah.
But they made it, or the other way around, or whatever it is. But the whole model, they had that ready the night before they gave it to everyone to test to play, because that's what they're doing. They're like, bam, 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 get it out, build it, get it out. And now they have to wait because of consoles and cert and checking, and that costs money. That costs them money every time. So they have to weigh up the pros and cons. They can't just chuck out patches, because that all has to go through cert. In fact, if they do certain changes, I know there's some people have explained to me that some hot fixes can go out on consoles if they're small changes or whatever. But let's be fair, meaningful content, if it comes out, it has to go through the cert process, and so it has. That's why it has to be bundled.
It's not
together,
just bug fixes.
It's a cost cost to realism. The cost to how much it's going to cost to I bet it's a lot to get the cert done. It's not like 50 quid or something. It's expensive, I bet, to what they can actually generate from the patch. They can't just chuck these out, and so that limits what we get. So why can't they put an operation in a patch and then they don't release it right away? They save it for 2 months in the patch notes. Oh, people hack it. People realize there's a gun and then they data mine it. Who cares? It's the content. It's the gameplay of it, the feel of it, the story, the audio lines. Those will come out later and we get to experience it. So I don't get why they didn't. Instead, they make a patch, they release it, it's active right away. So I'd like to see that.
So there is an argument, right, where they have to maintain the stuff that they put in, right? The code and stuff like that. I would like to forward an argument. If you are a developer, you'll follow the words that I'm saying very easily. But effectively, when they decide to work on this event, they fork off. They sort of like do a
you fork off.
Oh god, an alternate timeline, effectively, of this is the event, right? And they do all their work in this split off branch, but at no point in time does this split off branch come back into the main one. And effectively, when the next major update comes out, that event is gone for good. Right?
Yeah, that's how events have been, and people say about like, oh, maybe we should visit existing events, the old events, bring them back. Nobody talks about it. No, they're gone, and that used to be what the exciting things of Warframe. It almost felt like it was a living universe where if you missed it, you missed it. And
the only way those should exist is as a story in the Laverian.
Yes,
that's it.
Yes.
At most, yeah.
Yes. Maybe a little cutscene or two, maybe some images. But that's it. You don't actually get to replay them.
Yeah,
you just get to hear about them.
Yeah, you don't get to replay the Winter of Discontent. So why the hell should you replay the year of COVID? But
Drusus is a historian, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, because there's in Laverian would be the perfect thing for it now they've added the game, because there's things that just were big things in the Warframe community and nobody gets to experience.
You can't find anywhere.
Yeah.
Greedy Milk.
Oh god, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Greedy Milk was Gravidius.
Yeah, loved it. It was brilliant.
It's not in the game anywhere else.
Yeah.
New players are probably like, "What, Greedy Milk? What's that about?"
Yeah. But
why is that a thing?
Yep.
No one cares.
You can even do like crazy videos like Ambulance Reborn and stuff in there, and just all kinds of stuff.
Yep. And so that allows them going forward. Just make it so that events are just build and drop. Okay, it was a lot of effort for one thing, but at least it's something. At least it makes the game feel more alive than, oh well, I've done the current open world, now to wait 8
what do
months
I do now?
for the next match.
Yeah.
If you can even bother to finish it. I didn't even bother finishing all of Zeramin. I haven't gotten the Aelok or the Hespar.
No. Same. I haven't got that module that Loz was talking about for Deimos. Now that I know I can just buy it, I'll just buy it. Right? Because I don't like Deimos. Thank God that lost in that poll. I don't like there is no urgency to do any of this stuff. You give me a time limited event, right? I'll either make time or I won't make time, but there's no urgency to do any of this stuff. And then when you get to I won't bother with Lewis Prey, I'll wait. Oh no, I won't bother with Deviri, I'll wait. oh, New War 2? I'd love to do that, but I have to do Deviri and Lewis Prey. I can't be bothered, right?
Yep. But you say do Lewis Prey. There was no quest.
No, but you get the idea. You get the concept.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The whole point is, if and then as soon as
I have to do Veilbreaker and
yeah. I have to do Zariman, Veilbreaker, Deviri in order to get to New War 2. I can't be bothered. I got to do 4 updates worth of stuff before I could get to
Now, that's the thing I was saying about revisiting open world. So the thing is, when that content is new, DE needs it to last as long as possible for veterans to play it.
Yeah.
So they make it drawn out with lots of time gating things.
Yeah.
And now I know that they do obviously go, oh well, you can just buy Necromex now. Oh well, you can just buy this segment now, and that does alleviate some of those problems. But you're still supposed to level these things up, and I would like them to revisit those reps. Why does the star chart funnel you onto?
I thought of that. As you were saying that, I actually thought about it. If players know that the price is going to be cheaper or easier to get or whatever at some future date, there might be an incentive to not play until that happens.
Right, but if it's
then even less people are engaging in the content.
Right, but if it's a year after the content has been released, that doesn't really make sense.
I don't know. I could have put off Deimos for a year if I wanted to. If I didn't want to.
So we actually came up with this. I'll see if I actually find the
but then that's fine, because that means that you will still come back to play Deimos. You have a reason to come back to play at a later date because you know that's coming. Thus, the players who are put off anyway, because you didn't finish Deimos as it is, I assume. Or you didn't like doing it.
Yes, that is true.
But you'll think, okay, well, I've gotten this far. I've gotten a few of the things I really wanted. But I'll come back, which means players logging in again at a later date when they know, oh, it's the revival. And along with, if that was the case, if they knew they were doing some adaptions, they could also add in a little bit more content at the same time. Added an extra bounty or two.
That's what I would love to see.
A few more resources. Like, oh, yeah, we're doing the condensed packs where it makes it easier to get this rep. And oh, by the way, there's more things to get on this reps as well. Wouldn't that be good? You got double the reason to come back.
So one of the things that we actually suggested, Nazeth, back in episode 466, I have this at my fingertips, but we asked the question, how do you feel about the idea that after 3 months of release of a syndicate's daily cap would be increased by 25%, 50% after 6 months, 75% after 9 months, and removed altogether after a year?
Daily cap.
The daily cap. Right?
Right, yeah.
How would you feel about that kind of thing? And we had 15% said neutral, 23% said negative, and 62% said positive. I think that's a brilliant thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem is so many new players. If we had a new player today, right, how many reps do they need to farm? They need to farm.
Oh God, so many.
Right.
Yeah.
Not including the base 6 syndicates. So we've got Osterons and the Quills. We've got Solaris and Vox Solaris, or Fortuna.
And the Vent Kids.
We've got the Intrati and Lloyd, right? That's 7 right there for a starting player that has a
Holdfasts and Samaris.
Sorry, Samaris, Holdfasts. Yep, there you go. 9. Any more?
Well, a syndicate of their choice, I guess. At least one.
No, let's ignore those for the time being because they counteract each other as you're doing them.
Okay, you also have to do Carl's missions at least 5 weeks to level that up, and
that doesn't.
No, he's
work
talking
on
about new players.
Yeah,
but
that doesn't work on the same system. Because you
level up. To be fair, Zariman would also not be on there.
No,
no. Zariman would be on there because that works on the same system of you do mission, you get wrapped.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
No, but
the thing with Carl is you do 5 missions and then you're maxed out.
Yeah, but why does it? I guess that's that.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. But that's the kind of thing maybe they should all move to.
Right. So you've got 9 syndicates there, right? Yeah. That all rely on this 16k cap for a starting player, right? 9, right?
Yeah.
And they're all so you'd have to go across all of them each day to fucking fuck that noise.
Okay, I've done my tiny amount of rep for Deimos. Now better go
Which
back
I've tried
to
doing.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that lately, and it is
Fuck that noise. No one wants to do that. 9
Yeah, you
is ridiculous.
such a grind.
I especially for the big thing, I would be at least happy if the bare minimum I would accept if the Osterons and is Voxelaris the first rep?
No, Solaris United.
Solaris United. If Solaris United and the Osteron is the Osterons? That's the
Yes.
Yeah.
The Quills.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the main ones, yes. Ostrons, yes.
Yeah, right. If those two reps had their caps removed, I would accept as bare minimum. Now people might say like, oh, but you could farm as many Zors as you wanted in a day. I'm like, good. It's freaking years old content at this point. If you wanted to, let people have access to it. Oh, but kit guns. They could get more, they could build all the kit guns they want. Good. Let them people build bloody kit guns. Let people try things out and have fun with it. Let people have reps.
I mean, to be fair, they would only
we've forgotten one of the reps.
Which one?
What?
We have forgotten the Conclave.
The Conclave.
Right. But
the Conclave.
But another big thing is like everyone says, oh, they'll be able to build as many as they want. It's like,
and
they'll only be able to build them if they have the resources.
Yep.
Right? Like, you know, I mean, hell, do you remember, Loz, back in the day with neural sensors? Like, okay, I've got Hydroid, I've got Oberon, I've got whatever Warframe. Now I have to go back to Jupiter to get some neural sensors.
Yeah. But or as you say about resources, yeah, there's also like weapon slots, and if people could go, well, I want to try this sword and this sword and this sword, and I can build them all, get them building all within a day. What do you do? Maybe they'll buy more weapon slots, but instead they're like, oh well, I'll spend as much as I can today, and I've got part of the way to getting one piece of one Zor. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow. And by the way, I'm instead of leveling up to get further, I'm wasting my rep building this weapon because I really wanted to try out a Zor. Yeah. Oh well, I better get grinding my kit gun rep. I have no idea. You say 2016, yeah?
2016 for
and
Plains of Eidolon.
And Fortuna?
2017. No, 17.
2017?
No, 18. It is 18 because it was the year after. That was the year we went over there to do the thing, and Sacrifice came out first before Fortuna.
Right, so it was 2016 and 2018.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, this content. I can't believe that he's happy with the fact that, like, oh yeah, look, a new player has to have all these 9 different reps or whatever it was, and and every day they're going to log in and spend a little bit here and a little bit here. No, that's not how people feel progress in the game.
Yeah.
Especially so disjointed and separate parts of the game that is. They want to go, right, I get to the plains and I can just play the plains and I can, wow. What if a new player be like, oh yeah, I got to the plains and I got playing it and I do these missions, I keep getting rep, and then immediately get rid of all the stupid leveling, all the rep things. That just happens naturally. Yeah. And you go, oh, I got some points, and then I built my own melee weapon. This is such great early game content. I'm building my own weapon. That's so cool.
I would be happy, right? Or happier at least than I am now, if they made it so that they're uncapped, right? But you can only rep grind for one of them per day. So like you have to activate it. And you can't.
No. Make it just too complicated. Let the new player who reaches this open world thing explore and do what they want. Why does it need to be restricted?
Well,
they can build weapons from 2016. Whoop-de freaking do.
Fucking spoiler. So
who cares? Let them have the spot. Let them have it. Let them experience.
Oh no, those things are MR capped anyway.
Yeah.
But like, still,
it's only like MR5.
But I'm no.
No, wait, no. I don't think kick guns and
no spoilers.
Zaws are capped at all.
No. Fucking Catch Moon is definitely locked behind. Oh, is it just the rep? It might be just the rep that's locked behind.
It's just the rep, I think.
But even so,
okay, fine. We have a little bit of a mastery lock on the Catch Moon and the Spore Lacer, but let people have all the other stuff and let people make as many bloody kit guns, and they'll be like, "Wow, I love this gun that I built. I'm going to take this through the solar system now. I'm going to take it to the other planets." Why is this really cool system? Oh well, you better work on it every day. No, you want players to have a go with it.
Yeah.
I would be okay
I also
with
want to make it cheaper
after a certain amount of time.
No, why? Let people build
after 5 hours, you start getting less rep.
No,
Just
why?
encourage them to stop playing
No!
so much.
No, but here's the big thing now: is that they need
No
to get
barriers.
this. They need to get this shit done. There's so much of the thing that they, so much of the
5
game.
hours
that
is a lot of rep grinding.
That's on them. I mean, what's it called? Like in the EU,
fair.
we have to have messages every hour saying you've been playing for an hour, right? Or playing for more than an hour, right? Fuck, put something like that in. You know, you've been playing for 5 hours. You've been playing for 7 hours. It's on you to do that. It's on your
maybe even
parents
be like, hey, the business has sent a message to you.
Yeah.
It's been he can use your help on Fortuna.
Yeah, why
little
not?
flavor text. Little flavor text.
But like,
you know?
I mean, what's the difference between spending 5 hours on what's it called, the planes, and then 3 hours on the planes and 2 hours on Fortuna? What's the difference? It's still playing for 5 hours.
Yeah, but you're at least engaging in different content.
So? I want to get this fucking shit done. I don't want to jump to between 9 different things. Have you ever heard of context switching? It's a huge issue for developers. We hate context. Everyone hates context switching. You hate going from starting one thing, you can't finish it, you have to go do something else. No one fucking likes context switching.
Well, this wouldn't stop you. It would just discourage you a little. It would be like, hey, instead of getting full, you're getting 75%.
No,
50%
Nazza, that sort of system has always been shown to be very negative towards players. If anything you want to do it, you have to twist it to be a positive. You say that you start out with an extra.
You go back to
for
100%.
the first 2 hours, you have 300% additional rep.
Yeah.
And so you feel like, wow, I better use this buff.
Yeah.
If you're doing negative, the player will feel negative.
Yeah.
Don't ever do
That's
that.
fair. That's fair.
But I don't see at all why. This is old content now, and you want a new player. I also hate the way that the Earth is structured. You know, you go one way and you do some missions. You go the other way, it'll send you down to this village because D is like, oh yeah, you want to experience this. I really need to sit down and find it. There was this. There isn't. I keep bringing it up. There isn't an interview. Steve said we wanted all the people who are going to come to the game after seeing all this stuff on billboards to be able to experience that quickly. We didn't want to get it away. But the thing is, they put it straight in the path of people. And I have talked to so many people who go, I don't understand this. I went to this town. Is this where I'm supposed to play now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you have to go back to Star Chart. I'm like, well, what's this town? It's got all this stuff. Don't have to do stuff there. I want to do that there. It's like, no, you have to go to Star Chart. I don't understand why can't
Fortuna,
I do it? It doesn't make
Fortuna
sense.
and the Necrolisp were both a huge improvement where they put them off a spur.
Off a spur, perfect. So you feel even visually, you're aware. Right, that's a dead end.
Yeah.
That's a dead end. Okay, I understand that. Instead, the bloody Earth one is on the bloody route, and you think, okay, but to get forward, do I have to do something special here? Like, it's so stupid. Oh, it boils my brain, that one. Yeah. Also, because going forwards, things we're saying about Operation Spring together. This year is the first year since release that we haven't had a Plague Star.
Yeah.
No, I swear we've skipped one other year.
Nope. Looked it up.
No, we looked it up last week. I can look it up again. Hang on, I'll get you the dates. And I'm really sad that does show. Maybe this year is because hope we're going to spin the positive is because building towards something bigger. But at the moment, it's like, well, come on, that's so. First one was 2017, November. I'll just do the PC ones. I know consoles were slightly off, but they become unified anyway. And the console's just basically the next month. First appearance was November 2017. First reappearance, April 2018. Second reappearance, September 2018. So 2 that year. Third appearance, June 2019. Fourth appearance, January 2020. Fifth appearance, September 2021.
Oh, that's what it was. It was just almost 2 years.
Yeah.
They almost skipped one.
Uh,
The fifth reappearance, they almost skipped. If they hadn't done it,
September's pretty.
It was literally.
It was a year and a half.
A year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
A year and 8 months.
No, but I think the important part is what Loz is saying is that in the year of 2021 there was one.
Yes, there was still one.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
We're not talking we're not trying to keep track of an anniversary or anything. It's just
no. You're right. That's why in my mind I thought they'd skipped a year. It's because there was this massive 1 year, 8 month gap.
Right.
Yeah, you could fight back and say, well, the gap between the fourth and fifth isn't as big as the gap we're in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in theory, there's more time for them to get it out. It's like, no, that's not an excuse. Seeing as that number. Just
No, it's really not.
bigger,
No. Yeah.
And that's not a justification. This is a year which hasn't
But
had.
on the other hand, I don't want them to do the thing, the sort of Fomorian thing where they just set it on a timer.
No, but
and,
no,
and
I agree.
Go.
Absolutely agree, and they should do more things like Playstyle where it is random and they control it, and they do add random little additions to it. That's how Fomorian should have been. That's how Razorback should have been. That's how the bloody Fishers should have been, right? And that's how the most important thing is the invasions should have been from Gravidius. They could have kept that in their back pocket, and it was literally instant pull a story. This boss versus this boss. This is the tiny, because Gravidius has like a tiny little plot, but that doesn't even make sense about colonists versus some Warframe pods. But enough it was to excite the audience. It was like, oh yeah, who are we going to choose? If we go for but everyone wants this gun. But if we do that, some Warframes are going to do. Oh, but if we go for that one, the colonists aren't going to do as well. Oh, that's not good. We never saw these Warframes. We never saw this colonist. It didn't reduce the amount of speed we got to the next Warframe. It didn't affect. We saw some colonists. But what did it let us do? It felt like the game was active. That the factions were fighting. This character was going to win against this character. In the lore, this character would be the loser from then on. And, it was Alad V, and Alad V lost that. And it was like, oh, wow, look, Alad V lost. And then he went on to do this.
It had no impact on the story at all.
No, but it added a note to the story. And it actually, it did. It actually, as part of the story and the narrative, that failure then led on to Alad.
Oh yeah, that's what got him kicked off the board. Yeah,
kicked off the board because of his losses, and then it was the hunt for Alad V because the Corpus weren't supporting him, and then and his Zanuka project as well was expensive, so the Corpus board were like, "We're not going to protect you anymore," and thus we came after him for everything he did. So it did build the narrative around it. The same thing for Tube Men. It did things, and it might be like a very false appearance of story, but it felt like a story. It felt alive.
It's the same thing with the synthesis targets research.
Yes,
those don't really add anything.
No,
but they do. There's so much depth there to just the universe.
Yep, it's small things, but it makes it feel active and alive, and not a theme park stuck in a fridge.
Yeah. It gives us these little glimpses into the rest of the universe and into the history and stuff that you just don't get any other way.
And they feel dynamic. They feel original. So Plague Star next year would be good. As a ASAP.
Love a Plague Star. Love a good Plague Star. Love more. I remember you talking about it last week. I would love more Plague Stars on different planets.
Yeah,
Wonderful idea.
Yeah. And the story should evolve. I mean, we're saying on Plague Star, it's like, okay, so it's I thought it was a different rock coming each time, and then we looked in this. Oh, these.
Same ones redoing. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if that evolved? And it's like, well, each time, has anyone ever seen Final Fantasy Spirits Within the film?
Yes.
So it's an alien rock that came from a planet, and it's actually every time they hit it, it actually takes that energy and digs deeper as a defense mechanism because it's trying to reach the core of the planet, and they just speed it up doing that. Wouldn't it be cool if Plague Star was actually trying to get to the reason why they invested into it is it's trying to find something Orokin hid underneath the some research lab.
Actually giving the infestation some kind of motivation? No, don't be crazy.
That'd be cool.
And all they want to do is eat.
And the idea I suggested the other week is that so Plague Star would still occur because I don't want to lose Plague Star, but after a Plague Star finishes, there would then be a week event where we can go down into little caves using the Deimos modular cave system,
procedural generation,
and do the caves underneath there for some additional week missions or some vendor and stuff, and thus the story expanded. And then in maybe 3 more years' time, we finally reach whatever it is down there, because they get bigger and bigger each year, and then we reach the Orokin lab, and it becomes an event because they planned ahead. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be cool? Using all existing stuff.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Could even let them expand the planes, which desperately needs to happen.
Right.
Yep. No, we're not done yet.
Okay.
Oh God.
And now I would like to. There's one more point. Okay. What do you not want to see time wasted for? Or not time wasted for, but what would you do you not want to see more of in 20?
No player housing.
Okay. Genuinely, right? I don't want to see Deviri as just another generic open world. I would like to think a lot of people were tired of Deimos. They were just like, no, I'm done with Deimos. I don't really care for Deimos. So I'd really like the idea that they've really like they innovated with the Zariman. They really innovated with Deviri. that other, if it's just like, hey, look, it's
And we're not talking
Fortuna
about just flying
again.
horses here. That is probably the least
God, I don't want
exciting
that.
part.
I don't.
Oh, I forget about them.
Can we get rid of the flying horse? That's what I want for 2022. Can we get rid of the flying
Sure.
horse?
Oh, I'd love to get rid of the flying horse. It's so. Oh, I saw this on
Sorry,
Final
2023.
Fantasy. We don't need flying horses in Warframe.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Well, that's what
And I love
Archon's
how
for.
I was like, I saw it happen. By the way, I just want to say it was flying horse, and I was like, oh, it's okay, flying horse. Not really happy with that, but don't worry, it's going to do some sort of aerial combat.
Nope.
And it just plods along in the air.
Yep.
And like, what? You just showed me a flying horse. That's all you're doing, are you?
Yep.
You just like, oh,
They've
that'll be
taken
air.
that time and made our queen great again. And what do they do? Flying
Big
horse.
flying horses. Right, we'll see.
Make Arkwing go again. Right.
Big Harkenberg again.
No, what do
I
I not want to see?
I don't really want to see more Warframes. I don't really want to see more weapons,
Yeah.
but I know we're going to
Yep.
see both.
No, I don't want to say I don't want to see any, but I would like to see a lot less. I'd like to see maybe 2 Warframes next year, and that's it. Maybe their signature weapons, maybe a couple of other weapons, but that's nothing. I don't want to see Deviri. I don't want Deviri to have a whole bunch of new modular items though, and a whole bunch of new pets. I don't want that.
Modular flying
Modular horse. Yep.
Modular
That's what it's
flying
gonna be.
dog.
There's gonna be.
Modular
We saw
session.
we saw that there were different species on the preview island that they gave us. So there, there's gonna be like, you can get 3 different horses, and they all give you mastery, and they all do slightly different things, but one of them is gonna be the best. That's all anyone's ever gonna use, and the other 2 are just gonna get discarded. Can we please stop with that? Can we just prune it back, scale it back a little bit?
Here's a question for you, right? Because obviously, one positive will always outweigh the others, right? What if they actually, instead of gave them positives, there was a negative, right? So it's just like, which negative do you like the least?
For what?
Yeah. So, basically, instead
So
of
like all the horses have really, really good stats, the same stats, but they all had, instead of having a unique positive, they have a unique negative.
yeah. So it's just like, this one flies for a shorter period of time. This one's slower. This one's, whatever. Because it's always a fucking positive. I realize I'm saying this out loud. It's not going to fly at all. But
I'd agree. No. I'd agree with you. But what they'll add is there'll be a random chance that you get the same thing, but without the negative,
Oh, fuck's sake.
and ruin the whole point. Ribbons.
Yeah.
Oh, there's ribbons. It's two. Well, it should be 3 positives and 1 negative. Oh no, sometimes you get 2 positives and a negative because that's stupid, and sometimes you get no negatives at all. So,
And if you do get a negative, it makes the positives really way better. And you gotta make sure you get a negative that doesn't hurt you in any way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they should always just have positives. They should always have been 3 buffs and a negative. There's no point to have these are 2 buffs and a negative, and these are 2 buffs and no negative, and this is 3 buffs and no negative. Like what? No, just 3 buffs and a negative.
Does anyone even use ribbons anymore?
yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Right. I also would like to see, and I'm never going to get this, is more tiles to every tile set. I don't get why our tile sets can't have more tiles to it, more variation, and plan forward. Xeno on the footage here is doing the Corpus spaceship. Why can't we see some variation Corpus spaceship? So let's have some more lab tiles for some of them. Let's have some ships which are have the rock crushers in there that are absorbing asteroids and crushing them. Let's see some that have troop transport tiles, and maybe if they did operations again, they can then look. This ship we've got to stop this fleet of troop transports getting to Pluto, and then so we have missions where we see a lot of an increased amount of ships with the troop multiples of the troop transport tiles. Like, this is definitely a troop transport. That's just one for the Corpus spaceship, but they could do equally for everything else. The asteroid, green asteroid tile set. Why can't we add in a tile which is an oxygen production facility for the thing? We'll have another tile which is more storage rooms for the thing, for that tile set.
Yeah.
Add in one which is sort of a machine workshop on the asteroid tile set, so it could be used. More tiles, and I don't get why. I mean, the palette is already made. There's most of the assets already made. They just need to repurpose assets, put the walls different places, put the bollards different places, make a few, maybe you don't even have to for some of them, but maybe make a few assets that are unique so this tile feels really unique. Job done. But instead they don't. I don't get why they aren't making more tiles. And then when I'm playing missions, I'll randomly be playing the Corpus spaceship for the bloody 100 billionth time. Like, oh wow, new tiles. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate those a lot more than most of the new Warframe.
I think I said it to you one time. I came back to Warframe, and all of a sudden there were these new side tiles on the Grenier asteroid base, and I was like,
Wow.
Where did those come from? These are amazing, and they added so much depth to the Grenier because you could see like how they lived when they weren't working, and you know, it was so good.
Yep. They should always be adding more tiles. I don't get why. It's like
they used to all the time.
I know, but instead now they have to make the very. Everything's being watery. Okay, cool. Is there anything else that you don't want to see next year? Player housing. Would we like to see? Discussing. Would you like to see any more things for dojos?
Yeah.
Purposes. I would love to see a lot more dojo tools.
Yeah. One thing I really want is a better snap to grid system for all the prefabs. All the I want to be able to actually move this like this and like, oh, it's come in contact somehow with this other prefab and now it's twisted on pitch and yaw and it's now skewed off like some kind of Jackson Pollock painting.
Cool. Would you like to see more stuff for relays?
Yeah. I'd also like to see more reason for clans to exist.
I'm going to be honest, relays, I'm going to pass.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm down for more relay stuff. Like we said, the oh gosh, what was it? There was a library system that we were talking about with like
Drusus.
it was like the opposite of the Samaras one.
Yeah, for the
was
Livarian.
It Drusus?
Yeah.
Was it the Livarian?
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do I not want to see though?
No, hang on. Well, I think we'll do. It's easy to say what we want to see. So I think what we think. So I'm going to read through some more things, just ideas off my head, and just short points. I think we've said we wanted more Livarian things because we like that, and we gave some ideas like the past events. I think we said about open worlds. We like to see more open worlds. However, for the open worlds, would you like to see more non-combat orientated objectives?
No.
So maybe more things to do with mining.
No.
More things to do with pet capture. More things fishing.
No.
More things player base building or something. More stuff more stuff in the actual NPC area, in the Optron area. So more stuff to do in the village, maybe more people.
Oh yeah, like little villager side quests that could give you extra.
Yeah,
like
I'm fine with
that. So and so has asked you to bring them this thing. To do it, you have to go do a favor for this other guy, and he wants you to go kill 100 Grenier. I
don't want to make a big song and a dance of it, but I really feel that the conservation and fishing from Deimos was the worst implementation of it.
Oh God, is it ever?
It is.
Yeah, so it felt fresh on Earth because it was new.
Yeah.
I mean, we have fun. That 24 hours fishing was fine. It saved us. Fishing did, and mining.
It was
on Fortuna. It was okay.
No, not mining. We ran out of mining nodes.
We ran out of mining nodes. I know, but it helped. We would have had less things to do if we didn't have the mining nodes.
Fortuna revitalized it.
Revitalized it. Yeah. And the animal capture was fine for there because it was unique and different from there.
Yeah.
And then these three things were implemented onto Deimos.
My biggest problem with Deimos is so the mining nodes are still not the easiest to see sometimes. Yeah. My biggest problem with the conservation is that if you do it using the lures and the poop spots, the tracking spots, they don't regenerate unless you go back inside.
Yeah.
They do on Fortuna and Cetus, but they don't on Deimos for some reason. And it's like, okay, I need to hunt Avacheyas. There are only 2 Avacheya call points. I can use both of those, and then I can try to find some random ones just flying around. But good fucking luck, and you need Avacheyas to rank up with that syndicate. It's like, why? Why do I have to go back in and out, just to farm these 2 Avacheya points?
Oh, also, please learn from the token system of Zariman. It's perfectly fine for different tokens to be required for rank ups within the faction or within the syndicate. But for the love of fucking Christ, don't put any of those rank ups on fishing or mining or any shit like that. I'm done with that. Right? I'm fine with mining being required to get resources. I'm fine with fishing to be required to get other resources. I am not wanting to get a specific resource to sodding rank up anymore. I'm sick of it.
You need this thing's spine. I doesn't have a spine. I've killed 10. They don't have spines. You need this thing's spine. Why do you want this thing's spine so much?
Spine juice.
It's ridiculous. So
Sexual reasons.
I really feel that, and it's annoying me they haven't iterated on the system for the rank up, that the rank up should be separate from the resources in general you're spending on shops.
They did for Zariman, right? It's just the currency, it's just the tokens for Zariman is required to rank up. And you can spend the tokens to be the rep, and you can use
That's
the rep.
That's not true. You do also need like Intrati Lanthorns and Thrax Plasm and stuff.
Oh, that shit's fucking everywhere though. That's like the equivalent of fucking ferrite.
Right? I know people that had trouble finding Lanthorns.
Lanthorns can be a problem if you don't endlessly spam the missions and you just focus on it. You can be a problem with Lanthorns. You have to go out and farm Lanthorns, which aren't that easy sometimes. You do need quite a few of them. But it should be completely separate. I don't get why that we have to choose at all. Right. So now just some other points quickly. Just go. Do you want to see anything more with K drives?
No.
No, God, no.
K drive arenas, K drive races, K drive, even NPC based.
They would have to vastly improve
combat. I'll give you that. If you give me K drive combat,
fishing.
Fine. No combat.
K drive fishing
combat.
That's fine.
So I can float over the water. And not have to like try and aim at a weird oblique angle at these ones that are way out far away.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got combat, it's just using the other thing. That's another tool. That's fine. Right. Okay. Conclave.
Nah, that's dead, man.
We have forgotten the conclave.
We have forgotten.
I would love to see a system that turns it into something like Rathum or the Index, where you're fighting against really, really powerful Warframe AI bots. Because if you can't find any other players, why not bots?
Xeno?
Meh.
Okay, cool. What was my next point going to be? I've only got one more left. What was it? So we did the Conclave. Oh, do you want to see a cinematic quest next year?
No.
Apart from Deviri?
No.
Okay. Do you want to see a non-cinematic quest next year?
Are we talking? No. Yeah, Sarah. Are we talking? When we say cinematic, are we talking on the scale of New War or Second
Dream? I feel Second Dream. I think is the smallest of them, really.
Yeah.
No. No. Anything smaller than that, sure.
No.
Anything that's just like some quick cut scenes and like, Vor's come out of the void finally, and he's looking for revenge, and or the start of the Varuna one, when we logged into the Varuna and you saw the Queen. As shitty as that cutscene is, and as absolutely pointless as it is,
right.
something small like that, I'd be fine with.
Okay,
just a little cutscene.
This is Xeno's take on it, right? Anything that involves dialogue seems to take a weirdly long period of time. If they're able to shit out, game modes. No, if they're able to shit out game modes, with even the smallest amount of dialogue seems to be fine. Like the conjunction survival. Yeah, right. Yeah. Fucking do that, right? But seriously. I know we're getting it for Deviri, but like fucking Christ.
Yeah.
No.
Nothing else after that.
I don't want
for at least a year or two.
No more quests.
So if the solar system suffered a terrible audio
blackout
static problem, and so all quests were simply delivered with text, and so they could be done really quickly, you'd be fine with that.
I'd be fine with that. I would genuinely be fine with that.
Come on, you gotta have some Lotus lines.
I would be fine with the equivalent of a Banjo-Kazooie.
I was about to say that. Yeah. Either text Ordis provides text to speech, or
right. But I'm if I wouldn't be so salty about fucking Veilbreaker. I'm getting really hot and bothered about this. I wouldn't be so salty about Veilbreaker if there wasn't that quest initially and we just had 3 missions, right?
Right. And the quest, one of the 3 missions was the quest again.
Yeah, well, no, just don't do the quest. There you go.
Oh,
right?
just the missions.
You know, just there you go. Here's Carl. Carl to the rescue. He's always been at this camp.
Yeah, well, you just get the cutscene of him freeing himself, and then you meet him at the camp, and it's like, I freed self. Yeah. I helped you now. We do missions.
Yeah, and then you go. You've got 3 quests with no negative feeling. Sorry, three missions with no negative of feeling ripped off by one of them being just to repeat the quest.
And the other 2 just reuse the existing other content.
Yeah, like, you know, you just wouldn't feel as bad about it. Yeah. Right?
Now, Laws, they did add an extra tile to the Fortuna one.
Anyway.
Right, I think that's cover. I can't think of any. Anything more? Would you like to see more additions to Helminth?
Not really.
Would you like just a few more, just quickly ones? Any additions to the?
There is one. Right. I want on the UI a fucking clear cut. This is what Warframe your ability belongs to, so I can easily fucking identify which one I need to actually make instead of actually just going.
So as you hover each of the different things, part of the UI literally lists the source always of where it's from. You know, even if you've got
but he wants it on there without having to hover.
No, I'm fine.
No.
I'm fine.
No, I don't mean hovering. No, I meant part of the base UI, so you can see the list and you can move between. And then there's a little bit which says source, and it's always present. So if you move it, it updates. Yeah, okay. No, I'm fine with that. Right. Any additions to focus?
No.
No.
More. Just more. Add more to it.
In addition to the Lisette or any other player housing?
No.
Apart from
Dojo.
The system you listed.
Dojo.
You already listed Dojo. Okay, I think that pretty much covers the whole game.
I would like to fuse the Lisette, the Orbiter, and the Railjack into one.
Railjack! Would we like to see more
machine
Railjack?
That I would call the Orbiter.
Yes. Yes, I want to see more expansion to
Railjack.
Yes. As I said earlier, more inclusion or more integration between regular missions and Railjack. Even if it's a case of you start in a regular mission to go into Railjack, right?
Yep.
You know,
I'll be fine with that.
More. And my one thing I would like to see is capital ships moving. Now I don't know if that's actually feasible in the game, and if it's not, I would like to see if you can't have the ships you go into moving. I want to see bigger ship. I want to see us interact with bigger ships than other gunships. There's just the static big ships and little gunships. Why can't you put a bigger ship with turrets for me to shoot off that moves? Actually, it feels less static and again in the fucking fridge.
One thing I'd like is why can't we be on a capital ship and then the capital ship like jumps? Like you're walking past a window and we're in like some weird jump thing, and then and we come out and we're like we're above another planet now, or we actually or we destroy it and we get off like mid jump sort of thing.
So the reason I'm going to pitch this thing because it's one of my ideas I've always loved when it comes to spaceships, and I know we're running a long time, but I really want to pitch this again. I don't know if I pitched it to Nazareth, actually. So the one thing, when it said Railjack announcement, the one thing I wanted to see for an endless game mode in space was that we're going to attack a shipping line. And so it's a jump point on the solar rail, so it's the ships have to use this. And so you park your Railjack in this sector, and so you sit there, and a ship jumps in, and it's a Grineer freighter. And so our job is to disable the freighter. It can be you can go on the ship, but I didn't even have the section about going onto the ship. You just have to attack and maybe shoot off canisters, attacking the ship as before it jumps out again, right? And that jumps out, and it's an endless mission. So every it's 5 minutes per section. That ship's jumped out, right? So the next time, the communication from the Grineer said, "Hey, we jumped in, we lost our cargo. We got out of here safely, but the cargo's gone because there's Tenno sitting on that thing." So the next thing is a freighter or 2 freighters and a gunship, and then it escalates so it keeps getting harder and harder, and eventually bigger ships keep turning up, and eventually frigates start turning up. So it's one transport you're trying to get with 2 frigates, and it's like, okay, that's trickier, right? And then they're like, okay, there's clearly Tenno destroying our shipping line, right? A battleship and 2 frigates turn up, and you're like, right, trickier. So it's a really way to have an endless game mode that keeps escalating, and eventually you're just going to have to bank out because it's just going to be like they're just going to blow you out of the water unless you're really skilled. I thought, so every 5 minutes, the ships appear one side, they move along, they jump out, but they feel like they're moving, they feel dynamic, they move around.
Yeah.
Why can't we have that? Instead, it's just, oh, look, it's a capital ship.
Yep.
Is it going to do anything? No, it's got 3 turrets that I blew up, and that's it. Then I shot it with my big gun. Oh yeah. Did I blow it up? No. Then I left. Exciting.
I want them to bring back breakable corpus glass. And when you break the glass, it sucks you out into space and puts you in a wing, and you have to get back inside.
That'd be cool as well. Yep. Right. Any other points? Or was that it?
I think
that's very long.
It's a very long.
That's
episode.
it. That's the whole game.
We were supposed
this was supposed to be a short episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
but then you got me involved.
That's true. It really was just going to be 2 of us. So yeah. Right. That's it for the topic. Are we doing what sections are we doing?
Jump straight to. Well, did you read last week?
Yeah.
Do you want to do the community responses, or do you want to just go straight to the memes?
No, I can just quick responses and you can just comment on them. I did actually ask MDRLOz while I was there if he could sum up the last year of Warframe, and he said it seemed like the stall year before Deviri, trying to see what sticks, but crossplay is hugely important for longevity. And we didn't mention crossplay, which may have taken a lot of dev time behind the scenes, so that is a good point.
Fair.
Right.
We did actually get some rando console players in this sister run that we were doing, which I found kind of my god, other players in the system.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, we had a nice time with one of them.
Yeah, the other one was all right until he wasn't.
When he was trying to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zerul says, I feel that apathy Xeno was talking about, but I don't want hard content just for challenge. I want story, I want choice, I want agency. I want them to bring back the light and dark choice system and make it mean something. I'm sorry, but I don't get the appeal of just adding more difficult content. I mean, I play solo 80% of the time, so that might be most of it. And I'm not saying I want the game to be easy, but I don't want to think of my enjoyment of the game comes from how hard it is. It comes from engagement and clever gameplay.
But is that not challenge? Clever gameplay. If I'm just shooting shit and it dies, I mean, what's the challenge?
Right,
what's the clever gameplay there?
If I have to shoot, instead of just shooting the shit, I have to look around the room for a small enemy that's running around sneaking, and I have to shoot that then opens up a door in the next tile, that then I have to take a crystal and bring back to my first tile, plug it into a room that makes a gravity void appear that sucks the shields off of all my enemies, and then I kill them.
You can have environmental hazards, you can have...
So that's fine to an extent. The problem there with that kind of puzzle is once you learn it, well, you've learned it. It's the equivalent of, if you trigger the.
Yeah, I'm just giving an example.
Sure.
I don't want to take. I'm just coming up with this. I'm not trying to.
More stuff like spy missions, defection, anything that makes you think without necessarily being like, oh, you got to survive because. If you make one mistake, you're dead.
I at no point in time ever want to just switch off from what I'm doing.
I understand that some people do, though.
So somebody who it's Warframe, but then I assume some Chinese, Taiwanese symbols or something.
Sure.
It says the pronounce. I'm not sure if this is one of the people who we have problems pronouncing their name from the shoutouts. I'm not sure.
Oh.
But they say the pronunciation of my name, and it says, well, if I was going to read this verbatim, it says Yin Xia. But I know that X, if this is Chinese, is more Shua, so it could be Yin Xia.
Right.
So there we go, just pronounce it. We also got Quarter 090. I think it would be smart to have a question for where players are in the game, early versus end, to see how players at different points in the game feel about the different topics.
Oh, how do you define early versus end?
I don't know. I just
pre War Within or post War Within.
It's tricky because
post sacrifice.
Because Xeno has to put these questions up, and it's like, there is all these different factors of if you're a new player to this question or maybe this question. It's like it's very tricky, but he tries his best.
I can put in the part of the registers like where are you in Warframe, but how do you define that?
Yeah,
I would do it by the story quests probably, but I mean that doesn't necessarily cover everything because you can, again, like I said, you can do all the story quests by the time you're like MR8, and then you haven't barely experienced anything in the game really.
Yeah, I mean, do we base it on hours? But still, a lot of people just hang around. It's very, very. I'm interested. Any proposals, any suggestions? I'm down for. But I mean, I don't know how to do that.
Quater 090. So if you want to Quater 09, if you want to structure some questions and put them into the description of this video, I will pass them on to Xeno. Right. Tucker Winslow. It is Tucker wins. First, thanks again for the Plat, lol. I will use it to buy the Helminth segment because I can't be bothered to level up my Entrati standing anymore.
Looks like we're all learning a lot, aren't we?
I haven't played too much since summer because I've been at college, but the Archon Shard system is pretty confusing to me, and now stuff I feel obligated to grind out daily, Steel Path incursions, sorties, standing, Archon hunts, seems a bit overwhelming. I'm super happy about crossplay though. It was always hard to get into a lobby with another Switch player unless it was a sortie right after they were refreshed or an easy relic crack. Now I'm almost guaranteed to get thrown into a lobby with a cross player no matter what mission I select. I love it.
To be fair though, like the next thing I really want is to be able to add friends across platform. We still
can't do that.
No, still can't do that.
What?
We tried it earlier. We had the Fallen Atlas, who was I think Xbox. We actually asked them like what they were playing.
One of them was Xbox and one of them was
was
PS5, and I can't remember which. Yeah.
Wait, so are these people you guys met while playing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you wanted to try and keep in touch with them, and there was no method.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them. Okay. Okay. Lastly, we have Edward Paddock. I'm going to call foul on the Fenrietta law. On one eventful Nabrus, 3 Orokin grew bored of the festival. One of them had the idea to reinvigorate their spirits. They kidnapped 3 Ostrons and mutilated their bodies, and they used Blue Kuva to temporarily transfer the consciousness into these mangled corpses to be used as costumes for the night. However, a servant girl approached the 3 Orokins' original unconscious bodies, taking a flask of Crimson Kuva, the permanent seal of continuity. She tipped it down their throats. The girl vanished thereafter, and when Nabrus ended, none shrieked more loudly and were more terrified than the 3 Orokin, who found themselves permanently trapped in the Ostrons' corpses. So, D, tell me again how you can only do the transference in one special room in a secret location that only a tiny number of elite individuals have access to, and then only during a void storm?
Okay, but to be fair, the
that's a
Knights of
horror
Nabra story is a horror story and not necessarily real.
Yeah,
But it guts the whole thing. It's not a horror story if it doesn't make any sense. That's like saying, and the horror story is, I went home.
No, but
and then I walked in.
How many horror
and
stories?
There was a flying gun, and the gun went, meh, I'm a flying gun. I suck your blood.
Hand.
And then no one survived.
And then I drew another Yu-Gi-Oh card.
And then how? Well, if no one survived, how did the story get back? It's like I don't know. It's a horror. Like fucking horror stories don't make sense.
Are supposed to make sense.
No. That's not true at all. No, that's not true at all. Horror stories do have to make sense. They are grounded in existing things.
Okay, I'll like
to make them scary.
I'd like you to explain Jason X then, please.
because right,
Jason
okay.
X isn't a horror story; it's a comedy.
I've not watched Jason X.
It's brilliant. The whole Jason... It's so brilliant. I wish you were coming over for New Year's and then we could just watch Jason X because you would fucking piss yourself laughing. It's so funny.
Right.
It's so bad.
Okay, you
but
know,
it's like Leprechaun 4. Right. You know, it's just so bad. It's
okay, those aren't horror films. Those are just comedies.
No, they're not. No, it's
point.
A comedy. It's 100% a comedy.
But that's you know how people say it's so bad it's good, right? And I typically do not get that. Jason X, I do get that. I understand. I comprehend. It's so bad it's good with Jason X.
Right.
Because it's self-aware is what makes
really
it
funny.
Okay, anyway.
Last point from Edapadic is, Loz, you are forgetting the infested do have liches. They tend to call them warframes is all. I think that's kind of what we were suggesting.
Nah.
Xeno, rather than the enemy getting stronger if you don't kill them fast enough, as I fear that would punish new players, for Warframe, what I feel will be better fit is that the faster you kill the enemy, the faster stronger ones spawn.
What?
I don't know.
So if you kill enemies too fast, the game starts sending harder ones at you. And if you start killing them too slow, it either stays at that level or knocks it down just a tiny bit.
I don't know the context.
I don't know.
What the fuck did I say?
Said add Xeno.
Okay.
You're probably talking about something about making harder enemies. Just I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the comments. So let's move on.
Cool. And then we're going to move on to the final segment, which is just the memes.
There's no graphs?
No, I what's called, this is as far as I could get to get the thing working. Graphs and community shoutouts do not work.
Well, it's good. I think it's good we've done this then, because now you've got time off to
fix it.
go
and make it better.
Right. Okay. So first meme. So all these memes come from the r/meme frame subreddit. Do check them out. Links are in the description of this video. First meme is I'm gonna kick your ass using the power of friendship and this gun I found.
So that's Baruuk Prime and one of the protocol guns.
Yeah.
Yep.
Skins. Sorry, skins.
Yeah.
Yep. It looks so silly, doesn't it? Meme number 2. Can they at least have weak points? No, just keep shooting. I'll have an enemy with an inflated health pool that also deals enough damage to one-shot frames, our original, and immunity to CC and some abilities as well. Daring today, aren't we?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is kind of where things are going, aren't they?
That's the thing, is that they don't, as it says, can they at least have weak points? No, just keep shooting. The one thing I like is when they added the what were the amalgams? Really interesting. Some of the best mob designs I've seen, like the weird like oval shaped ones. You can shoot through the mob. You have to actually target the things because you can shoot through the freaking mob.
Yeah.
Do they do anything different? No, you just shoot them and they die.
Wait, I gotta ask. I'm pretty sure the parasitic Xmas units. No, the leech, whichever one sucks your energy, right? They lost their weak spots, didn't they?
They have weak spots.
I remember them.
Oh, you like hit them in one of their hands or something?
No. They had these things on their back. You had to shoot the things off, and then you could actually shoot the parasitic Xmas.
Oh, you're talking about the new ones, aren't you?
Yeah. But parasitic or leech or whatever, because like it's the energy
leech ones.
Yeah, but like I realized the other day, I'm like, wait a second, that's fucking gone.
Oh,
and
that's sad.
Can't have challenge. Gotta have dumb. Just shoot it.
Meme number 3.
Dipper.
My friend sent me this after gaming session. My Master Rank 30 friend, Stalker, me as Master Rank 3.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Wait, what? Okay. I need to finish that game.
Meme number 4.
Oh, why didn't that work?
Lol.
Why does it hate me so? Why does it hate me so? Yes.
Vader Prime.
Awesome. Yeah.
Meme number 5.
Well, I want to know what that's actually for.
Oh, it's a really cool kick-ass thing. What is this?
Perfection. Coulson, the Audis mechanic. Wisp 30, sprint boost. Somebody once told me the world's gonna roll me. I hate the sharpest tool in the shed.
Oh my god.
I want to do that now.
Yep.
And finally, meme number 6. It's clear which Corpus division gets the lion's share of the funding. Shield Ospreys in Railjack. I can single-handedly kill a Tenno. Shield Ospreys literally anywhere else. Help, please! TerraVision versions don't even have shields.
Lol.
Very sad. Right, and there are actually... So, we were supposed to have double memes this week, but Xeno has been obviously thrown by the mad workings of people. So, I have made sure there is double secret memes of the week. So, if you go into the description of this video, you'll find the links. There will be 2 videos from the Meme Frame subreddit. Many also because I couldn't be bothered to pick between them because I laughed at both of them. Do check them out. And we will have more memes in the future to account for the lost memes.
Yes, I will get you the custom made, the Tenno Clock tailor made memes. But hell, the other parts of the show don't even fucking work right now. So I mean, priorities.
Yes, indeed. Right, that is it for the memes, and so we're not doing.
We cannot run a meme deficit.
No community shoutouts either.
Yep.
So Yeah.
It's really funny because I was saying we were going to do a quick video where we chop down to just the bare bones, and then I'm like, no, I'm having memes. No, I'm doing the replies. No, I'm doing emblems. And Xeno's like, whatever.
Right.
So there we go. Right, well, there we go. There is the bumper version. Let's go to the other sports, right? There we go, everyone. There is the... I think this episode could be called just...
the short
chat
one.
about state of the game.
The short.
No,
The short one.
short one. Okay, there you go. Subtitle though is definitely us talking about state of the game chat. I would definitely say. So there we go. I hope
Thanks for having me
everyone's
back
had
again.
a.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I should have worn a Christmas hat. Oh, why do I keep forgetting to put the Christmas hat on? Damn it.
Oh.
Maybe next year. Oh well, everyone. I hope everyone has had a Merry Christmas or Happy Seasonal Holiday, or however you want to say it, and a Happy New Year that's going to come. And we see you in the new year for more Warframe. And yeah, stay safe. We'll see you all in the new year.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.